Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Albaron Courts of Everest. I am slightly off-center, and so I'm just going to slide over here.
Aren't we all?
I am Joe Treffer, DM this evening and joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Tina, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. We are here to play a little bit of D&D, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. All right.
Oh man, I already knew that were on the screen.
I have so many random notes now pulled up from this pre-game discussion.
I've decided.
We played Mosaic Team 5 last night, our original Starfinder campaign. It was a very swarm-filled encounter. There was a lot of battles. There was actually one fewer encounter map than I thought there was going to be, but
Kept it simple for you.
yeah, but both encounters still happened. We have some cool projects that are in the works, very much thanks to support from people who are watching, people who subscribe. These are tarot cards that have been being designed by Sophie Bischoff for each individual character, and they will hang kind of in the background like you might see on our Mosaic Team 5 original Starfinder game Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But those will be each character in the style of a tarot card, and it's going to be cool. We have Albaron RPG as an Instagram, social media, other things. You can see the things that are on our table, like this blank space, but oftentimes there are...
There's minis. Like that.
A plinth. There are miniatures, there are encounter maps. You can see them here, but you can see them in even better detail at Albaron RPG. What?
That's something else.
And then finally, that's really all the announcements that we have. Next week, we are going to have some themes that are coming up next month. April 19th, a week early, because there's not a whole lot of holidays that occur in April. We will be celebrating Arbor Day, because that's just the time that it falls. So
Wait,
And Dan has a tree costume.
and Dan has a tree costume that I really want him to wear. I'm really
So
hoping.
good.
Dan, please. So that is going to be next month. The month after that, we're going to have some fancy Kentucky Derby adjacent.
you know the
Yes.
week after
Things.
is my birthday.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you can pick a
Oh, okay. I was just. I don't know. Arbor
but we
Day.
don't get
Vincent
there's
already
no
picked
federal
his
like
birthday.
day
I
that we
did see
get off
You know,
that we
that's
can like
cool.
tie it to. You know?
Well, we could start a campaign to make my birthday a federal holiday,
That's true.
but
Okay.
it's probably gonna die in the
So
Senate.
write-in ballots will be your birthday theme. And then finally, that's all the announcements that I have. And so it's time for this week's session of Courts of
Local
Everest.
politics are.
Synergistic. Yeah, it's good.
Wandering Hearts. Last we played, you came across a gem worker who specialized in kimberlite and its contents and learned she was heading south due to the threat of explosions that occurred across the Magiocracy. As she had nothing to possibly offer you, you bid her adieu. She made her way on towards the south.
There.
You continued onward and came to a place where a choice awaited you. After bidding Okerman farewell and with a little bit of guidance from Ori, you decided to walk along the more southern path, which would bring you along the shores of Lake Tarkana and eventually to a small and relatively unpleasant knot of wood. As you walked, Billy pulled Ori aside and asked about the letter. This letter that you had all found on the remains left behind by Dora. Ori, in turn, you pulled Finn aside to learn a little bit more about him, using Clever Thieves' Cant to confirm that Finn had an unscrupulous side if it had not already become apparent. This warmed Finn up to you pretty quickly, and he offered to exchange the names of all of the ships of a merchant's guild known as Lunarict that he was aware of, in exchange for the stagecoach gifted to you by Hirson. You declined for now, saying that it wasn't really yours to give. While Valis painstakingly tried to torture from each of your hearts and minds an item you might want, Minka spotted a very cool rock as you came to the shore proper. A feet wide across peats of quartz being buried quickly by the surf. Fearing that it would get buried, you ran politely past the trio of fishers who were working alongside and levitated the stone from beneath the sand. And as it turned out, Minka, that was not a stone, but in fact a gargantuan blood pearl oyster. And there were two. Additionally, in the surf, as the rest of your party arrived, some of the algae turned out to be stringy green ooze that corroded Valis's armor badly. You were able to defeat them relatively handily, though Valis did suffer for it, and find yourselves surrounded by a thankful trio of fishers. And as you all help them haul some equipment up, and you can see now the guard begins to start a fire, that is where we begin this evening. And for those of you who are keeping track, it is about 6:35 p.m. on the 30th of Summertide, 1481 TA.
6:45.
What is that?
6:45.
Yep.
And all's well.
Do you know where your children are?
Okay. So, you can see this individual, this woman who you had identified previously as a guard. She has a little bit of armor and is not wearing the same kind of fishing attire as the rest of them. They are setting about bringing elements of wood that they have brought with them. So this is not like harvested from the local area. And they are beginning to build a fire. And with the flint and steel, very quickly, this flame catches. You can see there is at least one other individual who is kind of securing this campsite, and one more who is now heading back down towards the beach, seemingly to fetch water, perhaps, because they're carrying a bucket. But you are all around this relative campsite on the beach still, but far enough away from the sand that you will not be washed away by the tide. There are elements of rock that do provide some shelter from the wind around you. What would you all like to do?
Alina will, as they're kind of puttering around and setting up. Do you all have names?
The one who is starting the fire, second here,
Because I have this database. You see.
looks up at you and she says,
Never.
well, my name's Talika. The one who just went down to get the water, that's Pulch. And then my associate here. And then they gesture to the one who had spoken to Minka previously, a little bit heavier set. This is Epicenter. We're coming out of Petrichor. Where are you all from?
Oh, well, we're from all over, but Petrichor is a cool city. We were there once. We got stuck for a little bit, but that's neither here nor there.
It happens to people who come in from out of town.
Yeah.
And what's your name?
Oh, I'm Alina. This is Raz. Raz.
Oh, hi. And just from the invisibility, she starts for a second, but doesn't overreact.
He's harmless. You're not harmless.
Yeah, no, I know.
Let's see. So who's around? Because I know people are kind of puttering.
Billy.
Yeah. This is Billy. That's
Hi,
Ori
I'm Alice.
over there.
Helping start the fire and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So you start
You're
trying
starting the clam bake, helping however we're setting up, you know.
Okay.
Or I guess the crab bake, technically.
Sure.
We killed the
Oyster
clams, right?
Yeah,
Are we-
I do
they're
not
oysters.
want to eat the
They're
clams.
oysters.
No,
And
I
that
think-
is-
oysters.
I think we're gonna eat the
We're not-
oysters that they have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the non-giant.
I mean, did you want to eat clam?
No.
They kind of washed. Right? You can grab
At
one.
this, you can see that guy who's returning now with the water, kind of like sandy hair, and this is the person that was identified to you all as Pulch. And they are going to bring this up and looking around say, is there anybody with a shield
Yes.
or a pot? Something to cook?
We have
Do I have a pot
yes.
in my?
I mean, I have a
Like,
chef's
holds up her
kit.
rapier.
Yeah.
You just like
Would it be? It would be.
spear
in
it
a
on
cook-
here.
I have
roast
kit.
it.
I have like a cook.
Which you are quite nice to offer, but no.
Wait,
um,
how would you use a shield as a pot?
Well,
We just go to
you
work.
turn it upside down, then you fill it with water,
That's
and you boil it.
pretty basic
It
stuff.
is
there.
heat.
Did you lose that memory?
Do you?
Alina leans over to Minka and is like, should we offer some of the potatoes that we have?
I was about to do that.
Okay.
So we actually have a bunch of potatoes you can use.
Alina's got the bag open and she's like scooping out potatoes.
At this, Paul says, no. You have helped us, and we are, this is what we do. We're actually on our way back to Petrichor for a festival. We are going to cook for many people, and it would be an honor to cook for you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Oh.
We have a lot of potatoes. She's like putting them back in one at a time.
Do you know anything about the Boykenberry Priory?
No.
Okay.
What is this?
It was a meadery that was where we accidentally ended up in when we accidentally left Petrichor too early after we got kind of stuck there. But last we spoke to them, they were having some trouble, and then I just want to know if you had heard anything from them to see if they are doing better.
Well, I do not know them, so no.
Okay.
But I hope they're well.
What festival are you cooking at? Is it the Battle of the
Bands?
Battle of the? I think there
Battle
was
of
a
Bards.
Battle of the Bards coming up.
I do not know what this is, but the eulogy tournament of Lord Artasis is a performance.
Ooh.
Do any
Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. Do any of
Words
those words
mean-
mean anything?
The eulogy tournament of Lord Artasis. So, pointedly, I don't know if you remember this, but an NPC followed you around town asking you on several occasions to move out of the way while they nailed a poster up behind you.
Yes,
yeah, and
for
it
the
was
battle.
for the
Wasn't that
That was,
essentially
yes,
battle
that was the
was?
one.
yeah.
And so all that information, yes, you
Yes.
It was
should
on the
have.
poster.
Yes.
I don't know if you read the poster or not. I can't remember off the
We
top.
did.
I think
Have
we
you met us? Of course.
That's
Oh,
fair.
Billy did not.
Someone met the poster.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, that's fair. You're off the hook.
I was distracted because I was lugging around a body.
He says, this old man, he died, and he had a collection of instruments that are magic, powerful. And whoever wins this tournament, they win the first choice.
Yes.
How
So
do
it was
you-
the Battle of the Bards.
How do you join the tournament?
Well, you cannot join. You must be a champion of one of the four Aries, those who inherit.
Wind spirits?
Oh.
Say again?
Is that wind spirits? Aries?
Aries would be, but he's saying those who inherit. And so
heirs.
there is the Lady Emberly, there is Scholar Vostraga, there is. You are from. You were in Petrichor, so you of course know. Tashila Avaskin. And then I believe Udria Crane will be making the journey and joining as well.
Do any of those names mean anything
Make
to
a
any of
history
us?
check.
Can we all?
Hey,
can I-
Cheshire.
Yeah.
Are you hearing any of this?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do I know what it is?
I got like 5.
8.
With the bonus or no bonus?
This was the one that wasn't.
No bonus.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay.
I just rolled on a whim because I'm like, Billy knows nothing. I rolled a natural 20.
Oh
my God.
Billy, the
this
only one paying
tournament!
attention.
So
I didn't see those posters.
for most of you, these names just go in one ear and out the other. They're kind of complicated. This guy has kind of an accent, and like it's hard to understand these elvish names probably in this accent. But I would say Ori. You have actually probably heard of Lady Umberly Artasis Oscourt, as they are a very wealthy noble and probably known to your family. You would know them. You would know Erdria Crane is a poet, a very well-known poet who is a little gloomy. They tend to live out near Uhex. And you would know them primarily because they're studied for prose quite often, and so you may know them from that. Billy, very early on in your formative years, there was an individual that you became quite close to. And this was somebody who had many a song memorized. And they could tell you all of these people. And they would be able to tell you absolutely pretty much any bard on this continent. And so you remember specifically not maybe these names, but you know bards associated with them, and you can trace it backwards in that way. You know that there is within, actually sponsored through the Awesome Lock, there is a group of blade singers known as the Choir of Awesome, and they are sponsored by an individual known as Scholar Hilera von Straga of the Awesome Lock. You would also know that that person named Tashila Avaskeen, you actually did briefly overhear about them in Petrichor. They're a brewer there. They make alcohol, and they, in their kind of festivals, often employ a sort of dad band called Extended Rain. It's like it's a jug band. And then there is this poet that Ori knows. You've heard of them as well. You know about them a little bit more because they're from UHEX. They play in a band, in fact, that is called Aldwin Sinks. Of all of these, the only one that doesn't really have a connection for you, and that would indicate that they don't have really like a musical sponsoree or anything like that. And so you would imagine probably, although, I mean, it's 10 days away, but probably if anybody was still looking for a viable group, it would be Lady Emberly Artasis Oscourt, the widow of the individual who just died, and who I believe you had heard was not super pleased that this tournament was happening.
Right, because she wants all the shit because she's in mourning and they're taking her husband's shit.
Makes sense.
There's a lot going
What was her
on.
name
Yeah. Her name is Lady Emberly Artasis Oscourt.
Artasis.
Is this from Morwa?
Yes.
Oscourt? I keep thinking Oscorp.
Oscourt. Artasis-Oscourt. It's hyphenated.
So
They're famed for the art of the Green Goblin.
This tournament thing sounds right up your alley. Do you think you'd like to take
What tournament?
the one they're talking about? The eulogy of what was his name again?
the eulogy
Lord Artasis.
Lord Artasis.
Artasis.
There's magic instruments. Well, but you can win magic instruments. Is that what you said?
Your choice from many.
Yeah.
What is it a tournament of? Is it
It sounds
a
like
tournament of
it's-
song?
Give me just one
Well,
second
tournaments
here.
are typically multiple events over the course
There
of
are
the
4
day,
great
followed by
musical groups that will compete against each other in a tournament of magic and performance.
performance.
The winner, judged by a group assembled by this Lord Artasis, will get to choose.
So it sounds like this is something that was in the old guy's will.
Ah,
Yes?
Ooh.
well,
I
it
see why
also-
his widow's not happy.
It is happening on his birthday.
Ooh.
Happy
Classic.
birthday to you.
I like the idea that somebody is going to try to sue for happy birthday. We got him.
Not for happy birthday.
Oh, man.
Happy birthday!
Wow. So you guys get to cook for that whole tournament? How'd
There
you
are
land
many
that gig?
vendors who will be there, but we
Oh.
will be the only who can do what we do.
Which is?
Oh, it seems like some...
So, I mean, he kind of turns and gestures, and you can see the only person who isn't really talking, the person who is now doing the majority of this work. Give me 1 second. here.
Been puttering and helping while we're talking. We're
But no,
kidding.
I'm talking more about the fish of these fishers.
Oh, yeah.
Like this guy is standing around talking, and this other person started the fire and is now keeping a watch. You can see they have a satchel or a little bag of seasoning. They toss this into this water, which because nobody's provided any kind of vessel, there are
I
like
can
4.
Give him a shield.
Okay.
What about the shell of the slain clam?
So looking over at it, even in like the kind of darkening air, it is already gathering flies. And you had seen that kind of blood pearl is now kind of like melting down into this clumpy coagulant that is very, very attractive to pests and things like that. And you'd imagine these are not super clean animals to begin
Can't
with.
rinse it off.
I mean, you could.
can't
Ocean is
rinse
right
it
there.
off
The
and
lake
then
is right there.
clean it into a workable vessel.
I mean,
I gave him
if
a
you would
shield.
like to spend some time with
It's
that, you
fine.
can.
No, it's fine. We have a
So in
shield.
Valis' shield,
He
Never
literally
would've
asked
done
for a shield.
it is very, very shallow, but wide enough to allow a decent amount of water in there. He adds in this little brown bag, and instantly the smell of salt and pepper, chili pepper powder. You can smell mustard seed, coriander, cayenne. It is all elements of things that are very expensive, actually, and not things that are grown in Everest typically. But this just kind of simmers, and you can see they kind of head off. And when they begin to access the elements of, actually, who has a passive perception above 18?
You need to listen to the quiz.
I don't know.
The three of you, as you watch, they open up one of these
26.
crates, and there is a visible of wind that hits them. And they pull out like these vegetables, and you can see they are beginning to take out potatoes, but also garlic, onions, celery. There are peppers of all different colors, a whole bunch of things that are kind of stored in there. And they seem to be putting together basically some kind of a crab boil.
Billy kind of like sidles over at some point and is just like, "You got any turtle's eggs?"
We don't eat those,
I want to eat baby
They're good.
turtles.
They're not stupid.
but they're cute.
They're round.
What?
Round's cute.
Round is cute.
Round is very cute.
It's cute.
That is like rule one.
Storm away. You do see, in terms of protein, there are what look like some kind of elongated clam. There are tiny little, what are essentially crawfish, fantasy crawfish. A little bit more pale than your traditional. There are fennel sausages that come out. There is little bits of corn, and this is actually, it comes out of this wooden chest frozen, but removes all this and kind of sets up this pile next to the fire. And this is very much like a crab boil. But some time passes.
Boil, of course.
Some time passes as it says, are you doing anything
Sorry.
now as this kind of campfire is set up? And there is food that is kind of like on the cusp of being served.
I think at this point, if Mika couldn't help with cooking anything, she'd just be like, if anyone's not really doing anything, she'd be like, so have you been anywhere north of here recently?
You can see Pulch turns and just says, no need. There is no water to the north.
Oh, okay. Fair. So did you guys come from Petrichor today?
No. It took about 3 days to get here. We must go through the shallows. The raft is not designed for the middle of the lake.
Okay. Did you see the giant fish?
Which one?
The
know,
the
Beauty?
catfish. No, not the snake. The big. There's the
The
big-
storm-collar catfish.
Yeah. Yes.
No. We would not be here. You can see like this reverent look as like the fire. He backs up and like is that like really like fire flickery face. But yeah. Oh man. It's my own fault.
It's not a fault. It's
Hey,
praiseworthy.
Cheshire. So that tournament, that's, I mean, you always talk about how you're bored all the time, but this Cheshire, this tournament seems right up your alley and could be fun. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go. Better than what we're doing right now anyway. Let's go.
You don't like food? It's gonna be good.
How would we get there?
Well,
Probably the same way that we went before, which is
You said
kind of
it's in
wait
like a month,
for
right?
terrain.
What?
They said it's in 10 days.
Oh, 10. It's,
10 days.
Don't know if we.
So in 10 days, we
I mean,
have to
we kind
somehow
of-
go to Darkbriar, save
We'll
people
put a
who
pin
are
in it
Darkbriar
and
from
see
massive explosions.
what
I don't know
happens when we get
Petrichor-
up.
Oh, okay, but does
Losing focus
Petrichor have a
again.
teleportation
Can I enjoy
um,
this here?
circle?
Several.
Okay, if I can find a way to learn those runes, we can get there instantly.
Well, I think the biggest issue is that we need a sponsor if we want to compete. But I can maybe see if Fearsome can get us an audience with Lady Artessa.
Not a
Could be
bad
fun.
idea.
I mean,
Something
obviously we
think
need to make
about,
sure
At least.
we need to go to Darkbriar first. How many days from Darkbriar are we?
How many days are from Darkbriar?
Depends on how you want to go. So when you think about the various methods in which you could go, if you go straight, yeah, you mean you have the map back there.
How many days by say carriage?
Is it fewer than 10?
So again, there
It depends on how
you are reaching a point on the map. I designed the map very much so that there are kind of like distinct and pronounced ways that you can go, but you are in a place where there are quite a few ways that you can travel, and so it really depends.
Well,
so now if you
is there
if
like
you,
a fastest way?
yeah, absolutely. So if you want to go the absolute fastest way, you go you would go right through. You would go through
That is
Rotwick's knoll. You would go underneath the tower, which is in a place called the Blossom Fall Valley.
Which is that's the one with the arm.
Matt, I can't see the count.
It's in
You want
that
to put it
region.
like-
Hogging the map.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to read
And
something.
then you can north of the Blossom Fall Valley, there is you would probably reconnect to the Blue Boat Coastal Roadway, and then from there you could make your way up all the way to Darkbriar.
Are we roughly near Mording's Stone?
No, you're further north than that.
Further north.
So how-
So we're like right under the.
You can see the trees. No, so you're like right on the cusp of like where the trees are right there.
Okay. Okay. So we
So
still.
how long would it take for us to get there? Fastest route with the coach.
4 days, give or take.
Okay.
Dope. We can do it all.
Might as well just wander here and there and ain't worried about getting there.
We are
Well-
the Wandering Hearts.
So 4 days from where you are currently to Darkbriar. Yeah.
So we're about here, and we need to get to about here.
Okay, 4 days.
So I'll get us there probably in half a week.
I mean, I think that obviously our top priority is getting to Darkbriar. Of course.
Well, yeah, now it is.
It was
Well-
before.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I think that 10 days is a
what was
bit
it
too
before?
far along for us to be making any solid plans.
Oh yeah,
That's a good
right.
plan.
I think the current plan should be eating this
Had we
delicious
actually
meal.
cared about Darkbriar, we would have gone to Darkbriar.
Well, we're on the way to Darkbriar.
We're going there right now. What?
What's Cheshire talking about here?
Yeah, I have
Being-
no idea.
Cheshire's being cryptic.
We went to
being technically
Candlestick
correct.
Forest first, and then go
Oh,
straight to
right.
I guess-
Darkbriar.
She's being technically correct.
We made a detour.
A tiny
Well.
detour
Let's see.
that gave massive power to one of our party. Oh no.
But also upset the balance that had formed in an area that is now likely to be besieged by a dragon that we know about
How do
underneath
you
it.
So-
regularly get to and from Petrichor? You can only access it when it rains, right?
Yes, but there are ways of predicting, right? And it is good weather in about 3 days when we go back.
Okay.
Do you know when next there will be rain?
3 days?
In about 3 days.
After that, how long that rain might last?
I have not looked because we will be in Petrichor by then.
Fair enough. Well,
Have
3
you ever-
days is
Well,
not
I guess I
going
Wait,
to be-
can the teleportation circles be used even if it's not raining there?
Yes.
Simple enough.
Simple. I mean, I still would need to learn the runes. You really have to be there for that.
Alright, well.
I can predict weather one day at a time.
I know.
Which rooms do you know?
So after we deal with Darkbriar, then
Well,
we can check on the
My
weather.
home, obviously, and the Emerald Spire.
Okay.
But anytime we come across new runes, I can learn them.
Could you learn them from someone else?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like if maybe we could hear some teach you the runes for Petrichor if we were in the Spire?
That was kind of what I was thinking, but I don't know. I also there's some components that I don't have. Fancy chalk.
How much? Fancy
Yeah.
chalk.
50 gold worth, I
Huh.
think.
You have so much chalk.
We have unfancy.
None of it is
Yeah, I
fancy.
know.
It needs to be infused with jewels or something. But
Yeah.
anyway, I feel like Ori's right. We can't really plan that far out, but we should keep it in mind.
It is thoroughly logged in my mind. Could you pass me?
I'd log it in my mind, but you know how things go in my mind.
Sorry, Talon.
Temporarily.
Joke that no one laughed.
I didn't hear it. I was distracted.
So I'm probably gonna call Hirsim soon, give an update, and
Oh, can you ask him
Tell him I
if
said
he
hi.
can find me some fancy chalk?
Sure. Does anyone else have anything they want to ask Hirsim?
I have plenty I want to ask him, but I don't think he's going to answer.
At this, Polch says, "We will be ready. We will be ready in about 10 minutes. So if you need to do something, now is a good time." And you can see, like, he's pulled out of this chest these 3 iron cubes that are already kind of frosting over as they've been pulled out. And he goes over to where the your shield is kind of just beginning to boil away, and he drops them in the shield, and then snuffs out the fire underneath, and just kind of lets it sit there as the temperature begins to drop.
Well, knows what he's about.
Sinterson sword?
Could you ask him if he knows if there's a way to have spells that you normally would be able to have after you take a nap? Because there are lots of times where you guys want me to do things, but I can't without having to like redo.
You mean like cast a spell that you hadn't prepared
Yeah.
or focused for?
Yeah.
You do
Meditate for
often
that day?
suggest that we take a nap in really weird places. Yeah.
Ori, this might be a fever dream because I think they turned me into a snake, and I kind of remember what happened. But did I see
You
you
were,
hit
in
someone
fact, a
with your
snake.
crossbow? In like with
Well,
the
it got a
crossbow
little
itself?
too close for me to.
I thought you meant, like, sarcastically, like, "Did you get a hit, Ori?"
Yeah, I shoot real good, man.
Casual.
Lay off.
Oh, man. Sorry.
I hit stuff sometimes.
I know that
Yeah, well, when
Here's
things
some-
get too close, I need to hit them. So
I think Hirsim mentioned like the Song of Dark Morning as a bow, but is
Yes,
a
he did.
bow what you want, or would you want something that would be
Well,
more
I'm,
effective if you were to hit them with it?
capable of whatever is provided to me. So whatever Hirsim tells us to go find, I suppose we will go find. Do you want some of this alcohol?
We have alcohol?
Oh, do you want some of this alcohol?
I mean, that's Alina asking.
Right.
Wait, you had alcohol this whole time?
You don't?
Oh yeah, that part of my
And so alcohol is
Digging in the
passed
bag.
around, no problem. Valis, are you going off to talk to Hirsim?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. So you go over with your little sending stone.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep.
You chant the ritual words. The rune glows once, and then very quickly, Hirsim picks up, and you hear, "Hello, Valis.
Hello, Hirsim. How are you today?
Very well. How are you?"
Well, thank you. So we talked about what type of items we'd like you to look for us. We are on our way still to Dockbriar, and we understand that Sinterson the sword is near. Did you have Billy in mind for that sword when you found it for us?
I think many of you are capable of holding a sword, and so for each of you, there are things that you might be able to do with it. But I believe Billy would make the best use of it, yes.
Okay, very good. So we'll probably go for that next. For Minka, she wanted something to help with her spell casting, and something that may help her cast spells that she had perhaps unprepared for the day.
Interesting. I do know of one thing, and I actually believe that you will be coming across it in your travels regardless.
Yeah.
Ah,
I'm afraid that's all I can say.
how will we know it when we find it? I guess that goes against the all you can say question.
Well, not quite. This item is capable of holding 3 different things, and with these 3 things, it changes in appearance. It can look different, and that will make it challenging to identify by sight.
Changes appear.
The one who wields it typically wears a crown of stars.
Weird.
Right. Thank you for that. And we were thinking of going after the Song of Dark Morning, that bow you mentioned.
That would make sense.
Okay, so it seems like our how do we? So if we were to go for
To be
Sinterson
clear
next-
as well, you do not need to go after that. If there is something else that Ori would like, something that would perhaps make him... is Ori there?
Yeah, let me go grab him.
No, that's quite fine.
Okay.
Something that would make Ori less mundane, perhaps.
Only Valis can hear this, which is
I know.
nice for your self-esteem.
Or he's just eating clams, happy as a clam. Not actually. Well, I don't know how happy clams are.
I'll try to figure it out and see which way what he would prefer, but he's very scarce with his answers. There is another thing. Oh, my armor. We encountered some slime, and they kind of ruined my armor. And it's much less effective. I think I'm gonna need a new plate instead of armor. It doesn't need to be magical or anything, but it's full plate if possible, if not just another set of splint.
And you're heading to Darkbriar, correct?
Correct.
I will see that you have a... I'll see what I can do, but something will await you there.
Oh, thank you. Will we know who to contact for that something? Or?
No, you're quite easy to find, and as long as you wear your insignia, they will be able to find you.
All right.
Don't forget my chalk.
Oh, one more thing. We heard of the eulogy of Lord Artasis, and we thought it might be a good opportunity to perhaps for Cheshire to get something, because if I understand it, the winners of the tournament get their pick of magical instruments, but...
You intend to win?
We'd like to compete, and yes, the intention of competing would be to win.
Well, you do understand there are professional musicians who will be attending.
Yeah, but I understand that it's a competition of magic and music, and Cheshire is a... we have very talented musicians in our party, and a lot of magic.
Well, if you do go, please let me know, and I will make sure to be there to support you.
Translation: I will be sure to be there to laugh at you.
Well, apparently we need a sponsor, and I think Billy mentioned that the one who may need a sponsor is someone named Lady Emberly Artessa.
The name rings a bell.
Is there any chance that, or do you have any advice in getting an audience with her to become her champions for the tournament?
Without knowing too much about her, I'm afraid not.
Okay.
Perhaps ask.
Ask her herself?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, step one,
Chalk?
and if the tournament is in Petrichor, I understand, so, that reminds me, so...
I'm like over his
would you
shoulder
be
now.
able to, if we were to make our way into the Spire, could you teach Alina the runes to get to Petrichor using the teleportation circles?
I
Make a
need
persuasion
chalk
check.
for that spell.
I'm getting to that.
Please.
Do we hear Valis, right?
Yes, but we don't hear it.
There's the chaotic part of me that wants to now just purposefully pull Valis out, like really, like just throw information, and just bury it there. But
Alright, that'll be a 26, Joe.
with the 26, he sighs and he says, "I suppose."
Okay. And I believe for the spell, Alina said she would need magical chalks.
Nope. Chalk infused,
Chalk.
rare chalks infused with jewels or something.
Jewels infused magical chalks. Are you familiar with those components for the spell?
Those were a lot of words.
Alright. What was it again, Alina?
Okay, rare
I
chalks.
understand, I believe, what you are speaking of. This is for teleportation circle.
Yeah.
Teleportation circle?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
For that. So would you also be able to procure some of those reagents for her to cast the spell?
Regrettably, I don't need such reagents, and so not something I know how to find. I might have enough for you to do it once.
Okay.
What do you say?
He might have enough for us to do it once. Do you know where we can find such reagents in the future? Should we need them if we were to have the...
I can look for some, but still, I don't use it, and so I don't know.
Ask him if he can give us money for it at least.
Okay. And then would you be able to give us some money for it if in case we find a
Well,
vendor
money
who
in
can
general.
give us?
Yes.
Give us money.
If you require money, I'll have some sent with the armor.
Okay.
Could he also just...
Thank you very much. Here's some.
Of course.
Hold on one second. I think
No,
Tori has a
it's
question.
fine. I was going to be rude.
Never mind.
You are doing your
Alice-
realm a great service, and by extension, mine.
Alice, what about Cheshire's book? Isn't that literally the only thing
Oh.
she asked you for?
One more thing. And Cheshire asked me to ask you this. She would like her book back. Is there anything that we can do to get the book back that you took from Cheshire?
There is a really, really long pause, and if it wasn't for the fact that there is this glowing rune on the stone, you would almost think that it maybe was a terminated connection.
Hello? Here's somebody there.
But after a moment, with that 26, he says, I suppose.
It's gonna make pages torn out of it. Sorry.
I didn't say anything.
That's all he says.
Very good. Well, once you know what you need from us to get that book from you, let me know. Thank you very much for all your help, Pearson.
Understand, Valis. There are times where things are kept from you for a reason. There are times where memories can certainly hurt you.
Is he being an asshole right now?
Is he threatening you? Kind of feel like that's his
Does
thing.
he
that
want
means
anything
yes.
from Darkbriar?
Even so, the memories are mine, and the hurt is also mine.
I'm not talking about your memories. The words within this book, once read, cannot be unread. Be sure that you're ready.
Did he find some of your memories? and
Anything
he's
else,
telling you
Valis?
that he needs to
Yeah.
get more parties or something before he can drop them off?
You can ask him if you want anything from Darkbriar.
If you want anything from her.
Oh, you're still talking to me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's a dreadful place.
So I bid you a good rest of the day.
And you as well, Valis. Please stay safe in your journeys.
Will do.
Connection goes off.
He's such a dick.
Was he a dick to you?
Is that even a question?
No, he just warned us that at the end he said that once we read the book we can't unread it, and there may be knowledge in there that I don't know. It's
Is it?
He was
like
that-
the way-
that we may have wished we never learned. That's the impression I got. It was.
Is it that
But
it's his
I did
fault
ask
that
him
the dog
if we
It's
could-
Cheshire's. That's
I
the
did ask
thing.
him.
He took it away and then...
Well, that was the warning he gave us. But when I asked him if there was anything we could do to get the book back, his answer was, "I suppose,"
Alright, so I guess that
and didn't
means-
really elaborate.
I
But
believe you asked him for if you could have the book back,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he said, "I suppose."
Yeah.
yeah.
So
You didn't say you had to do anything.
didn't-
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
he's just gonna
I
give it back.
misunderstood. So in that case, I think he might be giving us the book back. But
As he should.
That's true. It is not very good to
I mean,
steal in most circumstances.
do you think you steal that book yourself?
I am insulted, sir. I
Most
did not.
circumstances.
Oh, sorry.
Is the
Valis,
food good?
Valis has a confused look on his face.
So after it's served, yeah, the food is fantastic. The cubes, as they're kind of put in, they keep it from boiling over, from anything from scalding, and at the same time, they cause the meat within these shells to just steam instantly, and really it just like slides right out. The fennel sausage has kind of leaked the flavor into the actual broth itself. And so when you take it out, it is a little bit oily. It is incredibly spicy and very, very flavorful. There is allspice. There is I'm in session 19 because I'm looking up old things.
Allspice, cloves.
Bay leaf. There is cayenne. There is dill. There is a lot of different flavors here, and certainly the peppers have given it a thickness that make it. Stomachs as adventurers, this is definitely something that will
Hearty.
allow you to sleep pretty well.
Hooray!
Nice.
Bye bye. Tell everyone about the conversation.
Okay.
Oh, we heard half of it.
Huh?
We heard half of your conversation because
You kind of slowly like got closer, and
you
then
like
you'd
to hear
like
the
say
other
something,
half?
and then you'd walk a little less far away, and then get closer, and like eventually you're just standing by the fire talking. But
Well, Ori also has a passive perception of
Also.
26.
Also that.
I don't know if I mentioned this before, Joe, but
So you know.
I've been here for deceit.
I was
Oh,
not
well.
eating stuff.
All right, so now we have a plan. That's good.
So the biggest issue, if we do want to enter that tournament, after 10 days, in 10 days, we need to find a way to speak to Lady Emberly Artessa, and she asked if we can be her champions, but I don't
Yeah.
know
I
how to do
think probably eye on the prize right now, which is, get to Darkbriar.
Darkbriar, find out what's happening in the north, maybe see what's going around in Allendor.
Besides,
couple
because
things
right
out
now
there.
we don't have a way to
few
get
things.
there. Oh, we would have to go to
that. If we were to go to
the
the
Emerald
Spire,
Spire,
we can
learn the runes, and then
learn
go.
the runes and get
Yeah.
there, and he'd have the reagents for one way. So we.
Well, right, but I
How
would
long has
need.
it taken us to get here?
It's taken us about a couple.
How long has it been since we left the Spire?
Since we left the Spire.
Maths guy. It's probably easier for him to tell you. It's the 30th of Summertide right now.
So we
If you could tell me which session, I could tell you right away. But
Glimmerden back
No worries.
on, I believe, the 16th.
that would sound about right.
Pearson's not mad at us.
Is that what you wrote down?
Yeah. Of course.
He always
Fucking
sounds like
Cheshire,
he's
parlay.
Which one of the
Oh, okay, so
fishermen
this is
were we
where we're at the
talking to that was giving
Giants.
us all the information?
25th of Summertide, so it's been 5 days.
5 days. I saw
5 days since we were at Erdon's and the Fey Circle where Pearson picked us up.
That is not very many days at all.
People.
Says I.
Yes.
If one wanted an audience with Lady Emberly Artessa, how could that be done?
She is in mourning in the estate, but
She's probably gonna knock on the front door.
Is the estate in Petrichor?
yes,
Okay.
I think we passed it, didn't we?
Thank you, Paul.
I believe so.
Also,
Yes.
The
It's
food
next
is
to the-
very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, with their mouth full is like, oh, it's incredible.
It's quite lovely.
We have partners
See,
that we
it's
trade.
now 4 days from here to Darkbriar.
Alright, so that
Check
gets
on
us
Minka's
about-
people, go after this sword.
We'll see
which is
what
gonna take
happens when we get to
knows how
Darkbriar in 4
Then
days.
you have to turn back around and go back to the Emerald Spire, and by that time that happens, it will have been past.
Well,
Well,
if I
sure.
can find if I can find the reagents, I can teleport us back.
There's
to,
a lot of ifs
Emerald
that are
Spire.
going around right now, and I
If.
feel like there's
Minka, do
more
you know? You know a lot about
substantial things.
chalk.
Yes.
It doesn't hurt
this
to talk
Delicious
about it.
food.
Yeah, we're eating the food. Minka, you know a lot about chalk, right? Do you know any
Yes.
place I can get kind of like fancy chalk, like the kind used in spells?
Well,
Please.
I know where there are plenty of gems that probably get involved in the process. But if it's already infused in the chalk or not, that I'm not sure.
How does the infusion work? If we had the gems and if we had gems and chalk, could you just make them yourself by?
Do I know whether I could?
You don't have the capability of doing that. Are there people who do that? Yes, absolutely.
I can
Look,
do
I think
that.
it's like a reagent, so I don't think you can just like make reagents.
So add that to the list of things to attend to in the next 10 days. And we're looking at, yet again, either choosing between Minka's quest or someone else's.
I do him one at a time.
Listen,
Do you want, Cheshire,
Could we?
is there like, is there something you want to say?
I at least own up to my selfishness.
That's true.
Well, I'm going to get some water. The three fishers got to get up awkwardly, and they all walk down to the shore.
I might help you with that, usually.
I just would like to go home. I know it's out of the way, but the people there aren't fighters, and if things really are falling apart up there, I'm just worried about them.
Seems as if things falling apart are a recurring trend for us.
Is there a teleportation circle within Darkbriar?
Darkbriar?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Even if there were, it'd probably be heavily guarded. The whole area is. I mean, they don't like anyone going near the mines, never mind nearby in general. I mean, we will probably be able to go to town. Maybe. But we're definitely not going to be able to get into the mines without some sort of... Well, we don't...
Well, we
Maybe
also
with
know
badges, but...
the Amber Swarm are generally around that area.
Generally around is code for swarming the place everywhere.
Oh, thank you.
Positively.
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
mean, just about everyone in town is somehow related to the mines. It's kind of what the whole town is, really.
I mean, I did learn a spell that can disguise us, but I think the last time we talked about it, we said that it wasn't gonna fool the right people, right?
Most likely
Right.
not. But also, we do have some authority. I mean, we're not nobodies. We have some reason to be there.
Alright.
We don't necessarily need to go into the mines how they want us, how they think we can go into the mines. We might be able to get into and around that way, but I haven't been in the caves for a while, so things could change.
Well, nothing has really changed other than the fact that I am now full and drunk. So,
Poisoned.
I'm dead!
Bestokers.
Lay on hands, cure poison.
Oh, I'm
Instantly
good.
silver.
Oh shit! Way too sober!
Well, I guess maybe we should like decide who's on watch shifts and then we'll go from there. And then she looks over at Tesher and she's like, "I'm sorry. I guess I didn't realize I was being selfish."
Too late now, isn't it?
Well, that's
Tesher's
why
going
I
to
said
bed.
I was sorry. Okay, bye.
well, I am
I'll
too
take
full to
first
sleep.
watch, I
Oh.
guess.
I'm going to
could
be up for
Tell
some
the
time.
fishermen about our fight with the Inakamudi.
What was that?
We can tell the fishermen about the fight with the Inakamudi.
Ooh.
Last time we were here. So
Tried to
it's...
tell that story once. I didn't do a very good job. Someone else should tell it.
That's-
He's got high, I've got high charisma. I can tell the story.
attempt to regale the fishermen with a less awkward story of them just not hearing us have like the most awkward interpersonal conversation.
So eventually, after like, and every now and then you can see they like kind of look over to see if you guys are still talking, and then they look back. But eventually, they risk coming back to the fire to finish their meals, and as they do, they're tentative about coming back, and they're definitely like trying to make a show about like they're not trying to sneak up on you guys by any means. They do not want to overhear anything that you're talking about. But yeah, they'll come back and kind of settle around the fire.
Finn's still with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's eating a toffee apple. Oh, do you guys want to hear about how we killed the community? This is Hannah not remembering exactly
it.
how it went. Yeah, we fought it.
You're dead.
Can I just say that I tell the story and make a performance check?
Yeah, you can.
Well, I am going to go because I have heard this story. So I am going to take a walk by the water.
22.
Okay. With the 22, you begin to talk about the Inakamudi, and you you tell it more in line with Billy's kind of hints that this creature did die, and you paint a pretty colorful picture of how it happened. It is not historically accurate. You don't really remember, and at a certain point, I would say, Billy, you can't really tell if this is like purposeful embellishment or if this is like really how Alina is remembering it. But it's good, and it definitely draws these people in, and they appreciate the story for sure.
Billy gets frustrated because it's not the embellishments Billy wants.
Yeah.
And then stands up and is like, tell them I got a trophy! Goes over towards the water.
And then...
And then and then there's like some general applause.
Yeah.
But no problem. So are you doing anything in particular by the water?
Just kind of like walking along the coast, keeping an eye out, like on watch, but also, you know,
Is this your watch,
thinking
or-
about stuff. I mean, yeah, we only need to do 4 hours. 'Cause
Okay.
we trains.
You want
So-
first trash shift or
So
second
first,
trash shift?
before you guys begin your watch, is there anything else that anybody wants to do? Okay.
Oh, what's it called? In attune with the sword.
Okay. Cool.
Also, we might not need to trance at all. Keep watch. Cause,
We might just be
I don't
exhausted.
trance because I need to.
well, because we've got the.
Trance because I like to.
I like to trance too. We're trancing for sure.
So Alina and Ori apparently make perception checks for your first watch. Oh, sorry, Billy.
Billy's also up.
Okay, then you make a perception check as well.
So, did I tell you that my passive perception is 26?
How low did you roll?
Oh no.
Not great.
I got a 21 if that helps.
I got a 15.
24.
That's really bad for me.
That'd be really good for Valis.
Further away from the beach, there is a point during this watch where you see two light sources that kind of bob back and forth, and they're up pretty high. And at first, that kind of puts you on alert because giants, you know. But as it gets a little bit closer, and they're going to pass at their closest point, probably like 500 feet off, and they'll see the embers of the campfire probably, but they're not making any move to get closer to you.
Yeah.
It seems to be, as they get closer, some kind of a cart, and it's horse-drawn, 2 horses in front, and this is just kind of making its way along this path, heading in the direction that you all came from. Aside from that, not a whole lot. It's a pretty quiet watch. It's a pretty quiet night. It's getting a little chillier down by the water, dipping into probably even the low 70s, but it's pretty peaceful, at least for the first watch. That goes by. Who's taking?
Sorry. During the watch, Billy wants to split having conversation time with Alina and Ori.
There?
Sorry, I
Watch
wanted to
is
say
the-
Cheshire, but Cheshire's over there. No.
It's over there, sulking.
Well, you took conversation splitter as a feat, so
I did.
I'll allow it.
I can be in 2 places at once.
Dual conversation wielder.
Billy's like, Alina watches the campfire, Ori's gonna watch the beach, and I'm gonna go in between both. And I guess since Billy is still hanging out with Alina,
Hi, Billy.
so thinking about things.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone thank you?
For what?
You got the chance to join the wild hunt,
Oh,
and you didn't.
Yeah.
It was right there.
I know. It's okay. Everybody, it wouldn't.
Why?
Guys needed the rest.
What if it doesn't come back?
Then I guess I'll try to find a different path.
And you're okay with that?
No.
Cheshire was out of line.
At least you talked to me. Thanks.
And I'm sorry.
Don't be. I was just gonna, go in for the hug.
Slightly less awkward this time.
she's been practicing.
Eventually, you'll gain proficiency.
Yeah. I appreciate it. You're my best friend for a reason.
if it comes again, you should go. And I'll go with you. Might be hags in the Wild Hunt. You can kill hags there.
There won't be hugs.
Why you gotta do that?
Thanks.
You have good here? If a portal shows up, just shout real loud, and then I'll run through.
Okay. Yeah, I'll know.
I've got all my spells, so we can go.
Okay. I don't think there's a portal nearby.
Let you know.
Just in case. No.
I should probably see if Ori's fallen into the lake. He was
Yeah.
really drunk.
That does seem like something that he would do.
He might think his flute's down there.
Do you want me to stay here?
He asked me a question. And I think I should answer it.
Okay. Off you go then.
Meanwhile, Ori is peeing.
He got stung by a jellyfish.
Amazing.
Into the lake.
Oh, God!
I'm facing the water.
Billy's not being quiet so as to not startle Ori in case of peeing. Apparently.
Nobody wants to see
Finishing
that.
up because my passive perception is 26. So
Great. Your active perception was 15.
it's still enough to hear you
jeez.
coming.
You have to see.
Oh,
Oh, man.
oh, it's so late. I didn't know he's. What? There's nothing around. There was a cart went by a little bit ago. But it's
What were you drinking?
the same thing you were drinking.
Right? What kind of lightweight are you? Never mind. How drunk are you?
Just a comfortable amount of drunk to be able to be enjoying the fact that I am peeing into a lake, while also being able to recognize that I am peeing into a lake.
Perfect.
Delicate balance.
You asked a question before.
I tend to ask a few questions every day. It keeps the mind active.
Making me want to answer it less, Ori. You asked what they did.
I did.
Do you want to know? Or are you just asking?
I do.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Great. You are very drunk. We met kids on that road. They needed our help. Or they said they were going on an adventure together. Near hag territory. Isn't it nice that we as an adult wanted to go and help them? Isn't it nice when someone says, hey, I've got a friend who can solve your problems? Did you happen to make one friend who seemed to understand you and said, hey, let's go play and escape from all your troubles?
Are you asking me specifically, or are you intimating at the moment when you offered me power?
Also, yes.
Are you still working within their employ?
Not purposely. But that's what I did.
Well, I'm not purposely working for Hearsome, yet here we are.
It's different.
Maybe not as different as you think.
It's hard. It's really hard to remember.
especially when you're drunk.
The secret to role playing is method acting.
I'm not actually.
I didn't have friends.
Well, that is something that we have in common.
I didn't have friends because I led them to die.
Well, that is not quite something that we have in common, but I can empathize to a degree.
You bring kids to a hag's hut, they don't come back. You go get told by your aunts to go make friends in town and bring them home for supper. They never come back. And one day you meet someone in town who's funny and smart. She seems to know all about you. And you have one very, very good week. And then she goes to visit your aunts. And all you have left of that very, very good week is a story and an ear. Not just an earring.
I get the meaning.
An ear, Ori. And then you might be one of them. And the whole reason she's dead is because of you. I hate them. I hate everything about them. I'm never gonna see her again. Even if I die, I'm never going to see her again. And it's their fault. That's what they did.
Billy, make a free intelligence check. Flat.
Intelligence.
I don't like the modifier of free.
You know what? Make it sense motive. Sense motive.
There's- what's-
Sorry, insight. Insight. D&D.
19.
Okay. Unbidden, a memory comes to you. Interestingly enough, Petrichor. There was a tower, and you had had a conversation, though no words were spoken. And at the very end of it, you couldn't help but feel like this person was sad, but not for them. And all at once, you can't help but feel like there is some connection there. But you just can't quite grasp it.
My rolls are cursed.
You know, I said before, I do think that there is more in common to our particular circumstances than you may be aware. I was not entirely honest in saying that I have no friends. I have one friend, and that is my sister. And currently, I have no idea of her whereabouts, and that is the fault of non-directly my parents and the relationship that I have with them. However, I have put aside my frustrations and ill intent towards them for the ultimate purpose of finding her and assisting her in whatever way I can. I do not want to end up with just an ear. And that is why I was more disgruntled than my usual self, as we were in a land of fire with no direct correlation to my ultimate objectives. But since now we are heading in that direction, I feel a bit more at ease, and also I have realized that in pursuing such an action as that, I saw myself not becoming the person that I wanted to be, or that I wanted to present to my sister, but more like my father, whom I do very much resent for the things that he put me through. I don't think that the path that you are currently heading down is particularly fraught with good times. I don't think any of us are particularly fraught with good times. By the very nature of our employment, we are to undergo hardships to some degree. However, it appears as if you and I have undergone hardships for most of our lives. And I would suggest, given our similar circumstances, that you follow the things that make you hate your aunties, but do not be led by them. I saw myself becoming a very spiteful and cruel person. The fact that you are not, and that you are feeling the guilt that you feel for your fallen friends, shows that you are not like your aunts. I have seen that. I told Jacaranda that I trusted you, and I do, and you have proven me right. So keep that in mind when you are making your decisions. That is what I would tell you as a friend who is perhaps a little more drunk than he had initially let on, because I have now told you more than I had initially intended to do.
You're also, you've been leaning on me the whole time, and your pants have fallen down again.
I did that on purpose.
It's a superiority done.
Oh, he's got Ooh.
Let's get those back on and get you back to camp before Alina sees, or she will hang you from a flagpole.
Well, just remember what I said. Hatred is not something to thrive upon. It's not going to make you feel any better. And I know that you probably don't feel great, because I also don't feel great most of the time.
Thank you for your advice and your candor. And I hope that you do not remember this.
I am nothing but honest most of the time.
And so the second watch started like 40 minutes ago. Who's taking second watch? Okay, Valis.
Well, sorry. Out of 4 watches?
3, I believe you can do.
Oh, okay. I think I'm taking second and third.
Okay. No problem.
I'm cruising through the second.
You know, you trans extra hard.
I got us at the takeoff. You guys can get us
I
the
feel
rest
like
of the
Ori
way.
needs to roll something for that. With that performance, he must be drunker than he realizes. He must be passed out.
He's poisoned. So, Valis, go ahead and make a perception check. You take watch, and you're not 100% confident in the watch. So, 1/3 of the watch is very drunk.
Sorry.
The woman.
So if I'm taking watch with Ori
Yeah.
and I see that he's drunk,
Yes.
lay on hands, cure poison.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god! Oh, why would you do that? Oh my gosh, now I've got to start over.
Oh man.
Oh, they usually thank you for doing that. Something about not having a hangover.
Well, you know, it is very jarring to go from pleasantly inebriated to stock sober.
Billy is desperately pretending to have been asleep this entire time.
Fantastic. No problem.
Alright, I need your eyes for this watch. My eyes are not as good.
Fine.
We roll deception or performance.
So
whichever.
each of you make a perception check now. And then who's going to take third watch?
Oh god, I'm glad I woke
Like
him
that
up.
Cheshire just never has to be on the watch.
Yeah, it's good
Nobody's
that you
willing
woke
to
me
ask
up.
her to take a watch.
She would say no anyway.
I know.
Cheshire
You might
needs
be
beauty
asking-
sleep. Have you seen how much pink she wears?
You might be asking, Dallas, why did you make sure that Ori can keep watch? Because I rolled a 6 total
And
for my
I
watch.
rolled a dirty 30.
Sobriety.
Don't drink, kids. Or
During my
drink
watch,
and have
I
someone
want to
magically
just
remove
take
your
out
drunkenness.
Blood Moon's relief and just kind of take a look at it.
Drink responsibly.
And,
That's
like,
what they say on TV, right?
Try to
Yeah.
like bend a little bit and just see how the light hits it.
As you would expect, with the firelight, there is a little bit of a flicker to it that at first you maybe think that you catch a sign of something changing, but not here. And you're so fascinated by this sword, that's all that you see. Ori, for you though, luckily you are on watch and you're kind of keeping a lookout.
I'm
And-
so sober, I have to watch.
Yeah, no, it's pretty terrible. Interestingly, for some reason, Billy is pretending to be asleep. But aside from that, and I mean, whatever, that's kind of up to them. But
We just had a moment. I don't want to ruin it.
you look around, and there's not a whole lot else going on. There are like little splashes in the water. At one point, there are like some fish that come by, and you can see them like visibly, tiny little minnow kind of things, like jump out and land again.
Pollywogs?
No. They're minnows. But you kind of see them like splash by at one point. The tide comes in a little closer, and so you're aware of the sounds and the smells. But as your watch comes to an end, there isn't anything dangerous that comes by. And your watch passes without issue.
I think I do want to ask something, Ori, while we're both on watch.
Sure.
Hey, Ori.
Yeah.
When I was talking to Hearsome, he mentioned, I told him we'd be going after the Song of Dark Morning for you.
I heard
He had
that.
an alternate suggestion, and he suggested something that that could perhaps, I think I as understood it, imbibe you with magical powers, and want to get your thoughts on what you want Pearson to get for you. Or, sorry, find for you to get. He doesn't give us anything.
Find for me to get. There's nothing really that I would like from Hearsome, other than the employment that he currently gives me, which gives me ample opportunity to pursue my individual goals. In
Is that
terms
why-
of material possessions, is more gold.
Is that
is
why
always
you
appreciated?
joined his employ to pursue your goals?
Isn't that what you did? You've been employed to recover your own memories. Is that not the case?
You know, that was the original case, but I feel like there's
More going on than you initially suspected.
I mean, always that.
Right. That may be the case with me as well, but unless we continue forward, I will not find those answers. And if Hearsome is willing to actually fund us or find useful weapons and items to assist us in these endeavors, then I will happily take them. I do not care what in particular. Does that answer your question?
Yes and no, but thank you.
Well, I will try again next time you ask.
Phenomenal. So the watch goes without issue, aggressively without issue. And that brings us to you, Minka. As you wake up, a little bit better rested, you can hear kind of like Valis and Ori murmuring off in the distance, but as your watch begins, it's beginning to get pretty early. Make a perception check.
Do I also make one as part of this watch?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, the pics of Alice and Ori still need to be switched.
14.
Okay.
What?
On the overlay.
Oh, the
Alice is
pictures.
Ori,
I did the
Ori is
name, but I
Alice.
didn't do the pictures.
Everything is gonna.
I'll do a step every week.
16.
16.
14.
14. Hey, look at that. Okay. Your watch goes without issue. There's a moment where you feel like you smell the smell of glass being heated. And I would say, Minka, for you, you know of an individual that dabbles in alchemy, and it's almost like that kind of a smell before anything's really been started. You associate that with like very clean glass and like some kind of an oil flame, and then it just kind of passes. But aside from that, very quiet night.
Who would do alchemy in the middle of a lake?
Wild. And so, with no trouble, you can all mark off a long rest.
Yay!
And the sun rises on the 1st, I believe, of high summer. Give me one
I
second.
was really low on health while I was drunk. That's probably why.
Yeah,
I wasn't actually drinking more. It was the blood loss.
Life hack. It is the 1st of high sun. There are 9 days left until this Battle of the Bards. But as you wake up, Polch, who is going about eating like this kind of crusty element of bread dipped in leftover broth from the last night's dinner, would tell all of you, we spoke a bit while you were having your conversation. You helped us a great deal, and we still have traps to check. We could bring you around to the northern coast of Lake Tarkana if you wish.
Oh,
Does that get us closer to Darkbriar?
I think it should.
It would shave about a day off,
Yeah.
and it would mean you wouldn't have to go through Rotnick's Knoll.
Oh.
That would avoid
Yes,
the dude.
please,
Yeah.
let us
Yeah.
not.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yes. That would be
I do
great.
not want to meet that thing in my lifetime.
It will be very crowded. There are 9 of us, and this is really meant for 5. But
Go in your ring. Do the thing that you do.
Oh, okay. Zip.
you can see like there's like a brief kind of gasp, and then he goes,
Hand it first.
"Will that not be uncomfortable for?"
I think it's
10
like
hours.
a house or something in there.
She said it's kind of spacious. They have like, she's got like pillows and like.
Yeah, it's really good in here. Also, sorry, how many
Big
hours?
on the inside.
And he can hear you now, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a little tiny voice.
Holy fuck!
That's
do that.
that's
No.
new.
Billy certainly knew that.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Nobody else made it.
I mean, oh my god,
that
the
is
ring
new.
is talking.
His eyes get really big, and he gets closer, and he just kind of goes, do I need to
Just
talk?
normally.
You can just
yeah.
talk.
Question, Joe.
Yes.
Sorry. Finish what you're doing. Then
Interrupting
question.
I can't because my
Yeah.
my train of thought.
Just how many hours did you? Oh, okay.
Yes, train of
So you can
hours.
talk to Valis if you want.
About 10.
Okay, I can only be in here for 8. I get shunted out.
Well, please warn us.
Okay, I will. And then maybe Minka, I can just. Can you cast that water walk spell?
You could also just turn into something smaller, could you not?
I could either turn into something small or a fish.
Oh, you could also. Could you get there quicker? Do you want to go ahead of us?
No.
Could you? Ooh. Also, counterpoint to that. Now that I'm thinking about it for more than 0 seconds,
Bird might be safer. 'Cause then there might
I
be bigger
cannot
fish.
there are things in this lake that we have encountered
Yes.
that would eat you,
I could be a
and would actually
decently
eat all of
sized
us, most likely.
Well, maybe can we all just be crowded for the last 2 hours? That'll be okay, right?
fish. What if you gave me a rope and I pulled the raft?
Could we?
Yeah, I mean, in theory, that might be slightly faster. It would be really, really tiring for Minka. But, I mean, could you, like, you would be yoking a dolphin, essentially. But yeah, I mean, in theory, that might aid your speed
What we
a little
really
bit.
need is a herd of
Yeah.
dolphins, or a pod, I guess. A pod of dolphins would be what we need.
So all of you kind of stop in this
is
like
a
morning kind of breakfast
two-pod
moment, and you turn around, and everybody is now looking at you, Minka. And as
like
they
maybe-
consider ways in which they might saddle a fish,
I might be able to fly.
because it is 8:30,
tried yet.
we're gonna step away for a quick break, and then we'll come back and figure out what this is going to be.
Wacky times!
There's gonna be a countdown on your screen, and we'll be back when that ends.
Roughly around there.
Hi.
and welcome back to the Joe and Alana show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will play Dungeons and Dragons in just a second once we have some more people to play with us. But for the moment, it's just really us.
Yeah.
In this time, I'll take a little bit of time to just tell you a little bit about some of the projects that we have going on around here.
We're back.
Thanks to some of the support for the people who do show up for us every week.
I'm here.
The whole time, I don't know what you're
We
saying.
never left.
I know, yeah.
It's fine.
It's a bit. We've
We're
been
back.
off screen.
We'll just jump right back into D&D.
Yeah.
So flawlessly and without any interruptions.
We're doing
Definitely.
awesome.
All right. So you have decided with Alina in the bottle or the kind of ring that serves as your bottle
Yeah.
that you are going to crowd onto a raft, which is quite small, and make your way for 10 hours across Lake Tarkana. You are trying to decide if you should turn Minka into an animal and then yoke the raft to them. So,
Maybe you.
what would
Maybe
you
you
like
can
to
take me out of the equation. Maybe I can see if I can summon something that'll carry me. And I'll start casting Find Steed
Okay.
for an aquatic mount.
And are you casting it as a ritual? Or is it, it just
No,
takes time?
It takes 10 minutes
Right,
to
right,
cast.
right.
So, like, as we're preparing and as we start to talk about this, I'm just like, I'll start doing it.
I guess I'd also try something flying, but I've never flown before. So I don't know if right now is the time. I have swam before. So
It's really fun. You should try it. I can only fly for 10 minutes, so it won't work for me, but you don't have to hold me up. That's okay.
For what it's worth, I have never flown either.
I can see you from.
And
I can see in here.
that seems fine with me. So we should be all right, though. We're still a little bit cramped, right? But
I think we'll be okay.
And about this point, Valis finishes casting his spell. And Valis, in the water, you can see there is just a single bubble that just kind of up to the top, and then another, and then another. And then you can see this dark shape kind of coalesce before emerging out of it. Very slowly, the water just kind of slides off them. It isn't like a big burst or anything. A sea cow. It is a little larger than a typical one, very much like a dugong. You can see very flat face. It comes up and the head just becomes the shoulders. There's no neck or anything like that. But as it does, and the water kind of slides off, there is this, and you can see like this ray that comes up over it of glowing kind of blue, almost like a fin, but very close to the head. And this is definitely a fey variant of a sea cow. But it looks at you, and this is your celestial steed. Now, I don't have a fey dugong, take note, but that is a fine steed. Official WizKids fine steed.
official.
How are you not prepared for that, Joe?
It has
Take
been
us to a
noted. We will get one on order.
Oh, I got one.
I have an octopus.
Boom. That's why I brought it.
Oh no.
I think I found my mount, so one less person for the raft. And I'll just start to kind of like pet the sea cow and commune with it.
Okay.
Not a sponsor.
Do they have a name? They're cute.
I cast Speak with Animals.
You
And I'll start
cast,
to talk to it.
no problem.
Hey,
So-
so we're going north.
This sea cow, celestial as it is, or sorry, fey as it is, turns to you and just says, "Thank you for summoning me. My name's Wershwin.
Hey, Wushwin. Sorry, I don't know why.
You sound a lot like me."
Hey, Wushwin. I am Valis. Thank you for helping me cross the lake.
It will be an honor to serve as your steed.
Very good. And I ask it about itself. What does it like to eat and stuff? And what does it do when it's not serving as my steed?
I like to graze off the bottom of this here lake. And that also answers your second question.
Very good.
So are we doing anything? Just kind of bobbing in the water.
We're like standing on the right.
Don't get me wrong, I'm happy you brought me here, but I mean,
He does this sometimes. He's
I'm
gonna-
waiting for the rest of them. We're going to accompany this raft and protect it.
all right.
Just picturing the
And yeah, so
fisherman,
we're just
like,
waiting for the rest of them to get ready, and then we'll be on our way.
Great.
And what was the name again?
Wershwin.
Warshwin. Write that down.
I feel like we're just standing on the raft, and the fishermen are like, "The fuck is he doing?" Val's is like,
They look up, but at this point, they've seen a satyr turn, like, just disappear into a ring. They've seen some stuff come out of you guys. That at this point, they're expecting like weird things out of you.
"That's fair."
But you all
They did
very
invite us onto this raft.
very close together get onto this raft with Valis now on Wershwin, the Fey Dugong. What are you doing?
Is it like real crowded?
So, again, 5 people this is designed for. And with Valis off and Alina no longer there, they had 3 to begin with, and you're adding 4 more.
Okay.
So it's pretty crowded. 5 more. Yeah, that's right.
Forgetting about Finn.
So
Oh,
I will in fact choose
about
a.
Finn.
I will in fact choose to attempt to fly. The knowledge that the raft is nearby, so if I fail, I can just perch.
okay.
And I will choose the only form that I've seen enough birds of, probably, which is owl.
Okay. I thought it was going to be a pelican.
I
Alright.
considered pelican,
Yeah.
but you have to see it twice.
That's
and
fair.
we saw
Oh.
one pelican.
Ballas
roll.
loves pelicans for some reason.
So no problem. With your newfound power that you wake up with, you are able to turn into an owl. And this owl, very much like a standard kind of like barn owl, with the exception of the fact that much like your horse form, this glows and has these celestial kind of points at the very, very tip of each feather. But you all now find yourselves on a raft, on a sea cow, or flying. And you begin to make your way north across Lake Tarkana. Now, somebody for this kind of journey should probably serve as a lookout. Is anybody kind of doing that?
I'll do that.
All right.
I'm good at that.
Or make a perception check.
I like
Yeah.
those.
Go to lookout from now on. I don't know if you know this, but his passive perception is like 30,000.
What did you roll? What the fuck did you roll?
It wasn't the worst.
What did you
Put
roll?
him in charge.
12.
12. Okay. Vincent, as you are kind of like riding this
Wait,
sea
don't I
cow,
also-
like it is like just up and its head every now and then kind of like crests over the water and it will talk to you in those times. And when it goes up, it says, "You know, the water here is really dangerous, but with that guy on watch, I feel pretty safe." And going back over to the raft, or your eyes kind of glaze over. Even though the poison was cured, you're still hungover. A really unfortunate side effect. It's like at just the right time where the hangover had started, and so it just kind of like sinks in, and you're not really perceiving a whole lot.
But I'm passively perceiving a lot of hangover.
That's true, all of it, and that's part of the problem. And another part of the problem is that though you are bypassing Chotrotnik's bog and you won't have to deal with that very unpleasant individual, you are drawing ever closer to territory that is familiar to you. The Blossom Fall Valley, while not necessarily part of the tower's like territory, it is entirely within the shadow of that tower. And so as a result, there are side effects to that land that are magic is a little bit dangerous to cast there. Actually, make an Arcana check, Ori.
Do I get my thing?
You do.
Oh, nice.
Love it when Ori gets his thing.
It's probably don't love it that much. It's a 15.
You vaguely, you're not a magic user, and so you didn't pay a lot of attention to this, but you've heard of people in the Magiocracy speak of something called Fray. And there is this phenomenon that exists, and it certainly exists within the Blossom Fall Valley, that is called Fray. And this is places where the weave itself has been damaged by magic use that has sort of stretched it too thin. And when you cast magic in these places, there are very unpredictable results. You've heard of wild magic, and that is kind of in your mind, but it's something a little bit more than that. It's a little bit more dangerous and a little bit more chaotic, even than that. It's not always bad, but it's something that you definitely want to be mindful of. And as you kind of think about that, you can't remember any of what it does, save for the fact that sometimes it does break people's concentration on their spells. But that's really all.
I would advise caution for all of you as magic users. We are entering an area that has a... Trying to remember the textbook. A thinned weave eroded by excessive magic use, which contributes to more chaotic and powerful magical effects and potential loss of concentration.
Can we use our carriage? Hello, I'm in here.
Would the carriage be something that could...
When you
potentially
summon
be
it for the
effective?
first time, it would trigger that, and so you probably want to have it
Do it
out before
now.
you do that. Not, I wouldn't do
Well,
it now,
not-
but I'm not the
not
boss
now,
of you.
but-
It's already. It's
You guys
just,
are all like this on the raft.
It's just sitting inside Alina's ring.
Yeah.
It's like. So do you mean like bringing it out of the ring?
Right, and so like because it's a
The
magical
act
item
of
when it
summoning
appears,
is like part of a...
you're introducing
summoning
magic
spell.
into the world, and it's substantial magic, and so that will probably do something. So you want to have it out before
Well,
you enter that area.
Which
Would
area is
that
that
also
again?
affect...
The Blossom Fall Valley.
How? Sorry.
So now that Alina is in the ring, taking Alina out would also cause the same problem.
Well,
And
With the waist.
also, are we going to be within that area in 8 hours when it
No.
has
we're
to
still going to
happen?
be on the
Okay, we're
lake
gonna be
in
out.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Right, but past the area in which
With the 15, hard to tell.
Didn't time it right because.
so I
I'm
don't
gonna get
think that
shunted in
we'll be able
8
to you'll be able to come and go as you please.
Yeah, I can only do this once a day, so I'll be out
Well,
before.
save it for when we're not going through here, is my best advice in this
Okay.
current situation. I wish I had read the next volume at this point. However,
That's okay.
That
I'll be
is-
out in 8 hours. We'll still be on the water,
right, so
so just don't do it again.
just be wary as magic users while casting and using magic in this ongoing area
Okay,
until I kind of have an idea of when we're not there.
I don't understand. I'm
How
always worried.
far away from the
That was me
place
pretending to
are
be
we?
Ultraman.
Because I won't be able to bring the carriage out while we're on the water, and I timed it bad. I
Right, but
should
I'm
have done it
talking
2
about
hours in instead.
taking you out if something were to happen while we're in there is the thing that I'm considering.
I'm not
I'm so confused.
sure
What are
you
y'all
understand
What are y'all
how long
talking
I'm in
about?
here.
I don't know. I didn't read the chapters
Okay,
on that either.
Ori, don't worry about it. Okay, thank you for sharing.
So while everyone's aggravatingly yelling at each other, Minka's gonna be like,
my voice is
going
so
to
little.
also look around because she's like, that's the bad time. They're being loud.
Make a perception check.
Hey, I'm
Water
not. I have
travels really
advantage.
well underwater.
Cool.
Oh,
Is that a bad roll?
it's fine.
It's a 14.
It's better than
I yell at you. Hey, Minka, I forgot to answer. His name is Warshwind.
Still a 14. So you look around from up above and you can see Valis riding on this creature. You can see the raft and everybody kind of like, whenever there is a slight shift within the water, everybody kind of has to jostle in place to stay aboard. But you don't see any huge shapes under the ship. You don't see a lot. There's not a whole lot of birds out.
No.
They're kind of the only one. This lone owl flying over the lake, and that never really bodes well. But you don't see anything dangerous. For the rest of you, is there anything that you're doing for this 10-hour journey?
Look for birds.
Make a perception check.
I suppose that Billy is just actively being bored.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Can Alina like do any like maintenance on the carriage while she's in there with it?
What do you want to do to it?
I don't know, just check it over, see if there's anything like wibbly that needs to be tightened.
Make an investigation check.
Got like 8 whole hours to
How
kill.
far are we gonna be from the shore? We're going along this coast, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going up this way, and we're getting off around here. How far out from the coastline?
Not. You never leave sight of the coastline. So they told you that this is not equipped to go out deep in the water. They're relatively shallow.
Like
and so
swimmable to shore?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, so I could just. Sorry.
How? Like,
It would be a tough swim, but it's definitely swimmable.
but
Yeah.
like 100 feet?
Probably closer to like 300 feet, but
Okay.
yeah.
I love it.
I have an idea when you're ready. That's when everyone's ready.
I'm just
Within 11, you see one bird, Minka.
I'm just watching the water line for like any disturbances or anything that might be like swimming up towards us, like arowanas or anything,
Okay.
or Inikmudis.
You've seen creatures like that before, and so you have an idea as to what to look for. And I've heard you have a passive of 26. I do.
Who told you that?
Unfortunately. There's nothing passively trying to kill you.
That's good. Besides
Actively,
age,
though.
What was your idea?
It'd be really nice if you died.
capitalism.
And what was your
The
investigation check as well?
5.
5. You don't find a whole lot, and it's partially because as you go up to the very middle part of this and you begin to like pull the foliage aside and kind of look for any damage that might be done or things that you could scrape away, the leaves turn yellow and red and orange in your hands. And all along this carriage, they round. And you remember this is a Autumn Court affiliated thing, and it reacts to your touch in a much more visceral way.
Oh, dope.
But you don't find anything else additional about it. You imagine that there's probably more here.
Billy's pulled out a set of dice and is just actively losing to Cheshire.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Goodbye, dice.
Oh no, I've lost things in water.
18.
An 18. There is a point where as you are playing and the waves shift just so in this crowded boat, your elbow hits somebody and you drop the dice and it bounces off the wood. You see it spin, but you never hear a splash. You grab it. No problem. Anything else anybody's doing?
Haven't I? Well,
Yeah.
okay. So, question, Ori. So we're like right along. I can see the shore right there. So it's like the shore. Hello. Is the shore like the area that we shouldn't do magic in? Is that?
Well, I believe it's typically more the effect is the general area surrounding the cliff sides coming
Okay.
up along the north.
So if
I don't know the exact range, if that's what you're asking.
no. So is we want to be able to use the carriage, right? Once we get to the other side.
Right.
We're really close. And so maybe when we get closer, Minka can fly my ring over to the shore and I can bring the carriage out before we get to that place, and then we can just take the carriage, along the shore.
That
don't
would
know,
be
just
more
an idea.
expedient. We give Minka the ring. She takes it to shore.
When we're close. When
We're
we're
close,
2 hours away.
Right. I'm just trying to coordinate within the parameters that you've presented here, which would be more expeditious
Well, it's more just
versus the
about-
amount of effort needed to make sure that that happens.
Once I get shunted out of the ring, I can't go in again until tomorrow, so I won't be able to bring the carriage out until tomorrow.
So they both have to come out at the same time, is what
I
you're
can
saying.
leave the carriage in there, but we won't be able to get it.
Right, but if
until-
we want them both, they both come out at the same. If they both come out at the same time, then are they not
Finn at this point pipes
in 8
up and he
hours?
says, I don't really know what you're talking about, but is it like spell plague or miasma or what are we talking about here?
I don't
Because
know.
if it's
It's-
like spell plague and
Well-
your carriage is magic and it touches it, it's gonna fall apart. But if it's like miasma, I mean, you're gonna attract ghosts and spirits and
It's fray. As like the weave is frayed. It's
I think everything's okay.
not like the magical weave, the weave that controls the magical forces throughout our.
I'm not really a magical person. But sure, whatever you're talking about, I'm not really familiar with. It's probably the same thing. It's just different names.
Yeah, it's probably the same thing. It's
So
just
if it's
names.
spell plague, then your carriage will fall apart, and I would maybe just keep it wherever it is. But if
Right.
it's miasma, you can bring it out, but there'll be ghosts.
What is the area that we're going towards
Did
again?
one of those sound more like Frey?
Billy, thank you for raising your hand.
That was going to be Billy's question. Do any
Make
of
an
these
Arcana
terms
check.
resonate with Billy?
Can I also make that check?
Sure.
Can I
No.
make it too?
Yes, and I would say Billy actually make it an advantage.
Thank God.
Was Frey ever called miasma or
With a 15 now.
spell plague?
Would have given it to you.
I also
16.
got a 15.
Okay.
16.
Billy just innately casts magic or has it given to her.
Mm-hmm.
No idea.
Hard to tell for all of you. This is not
like
something
going to
that
the
any of you are really familiar with, and largely it's because this is not stuff that really exists on this continent, at least not by those names.
What is the area that we're going towards again? What's it called?
It's Blossom Fall Valley.
Okay. Should I
And
call
the
Hiroshima and ask him?
surrounding
Because
area.
if
Well, have we
Roach is
entered
at
the
risk.
area yet?
You're getting close. So about 6 hours have passed. You have only about 4 more to go, and you would imagine you really don't know what the range on this is. But in 2 hours, you know that you're going to have Alina out of the ring.
Right.
how long will it
So
take
just
to
let
get?
me know whether you want me to do the carriage thing or not.
Will I know
How
when
long-
I'm there
Sounds
that I'm
risky.
there?
How long will it take to get there with or without
At the 4-hour
carriage?
mark, Minka has to land
Mhm.
and be Minka. So she's gonna take a break
Okay.
just by sitting on the raft and trying
You
to
can
be
sit
as
on-
unimpressive
Oh,
as
fuck,
possible.
You
Okay.
can sit on a shoulder.
Yeah, just like it's really hard to fly, guys. Oh my god, that was a lot.
It looks
Why I
like
only
a
do it
lot
for
of
10
fun.
minutes at a time.
It's probably good for your upper
I can't
body
even fly,
strength.
so I'm impressed.
And then and then after like an
Finn
hour, 2
says,
hours, I'll probably.
Also, just so you know,
While you're
you probably shouldn't cast spells while we're
I
up
was-
ahead because there's some kind of a thing.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was about to tell you there's an area that we're entering that
It's a split seam. Suzu is playing with the cat and the mouse I brought down. I shouldn't have.
Adorable.
so as Finn was telling you there is an area that we're entering that causes random and more powerful magic to happen when you utilize any of that. So don't.
How long will it take for us to get to Darkbriar?
It's called the
with or
Fray.
without the coach. I
that's
asked to the
not-
group or to myself, whatever will get me that answer.
Just thinking about the math here, because you've traveled by coach, you know how far it goes, you know how fast it goes. The coach, not using the coach, will probably add only like a day. It really helps you move stuff and move without having to like really exhaust yourselves. There's a couple benefits to it. And so it's not terribly longer.
So my concern right now is in 2 hours
Yep.
you are forcibly shunted.
Yeah,
we will still be
shunted.
on the water.
Yep.
Does the carriage come out with you?
Only if I want it to.
Are we in range of the spell play currently? Or miasma or whatever?
Don't
It's-
think we know.
It's Frey, and I don't know yet.
Well, I definitely know it's not.
I'll know when
where my.
I'll know
Not
when I'm there.
How long does Speak with Animals last?
Oh, it's gone.
Are you getting ready to ask?
I'm getting ready to ask here. But here's the thing.
Oh no, I thought.
I don't want to use the stone
Right,
for
you
in the
shouldn't.
fray.
What about your
You shouldn't.
guy?
I
What
think
about
we
the
just-
guy
Sword
in the...
gonna fall apart.
Well,
just
okay,
got
guys.
it.
Okay, let's think about
Why do you
this
ask your friend
rationally
in the
for a
necklace?
second.
Just
It's not going to cause things
Just
to fall
don't use
apart
magic, is it
because
that
it's the middle of the Magiocracy.
That's a good idea.
If it was the middle of the Magiocracy and it was having things fall apart, that would be so silly.
it's not in the
That's
middle.
why-
It's in the valley.
I like to cast Legend Lore.
Okay, on what?
I want to understand this place. So I can cast on a place, this place here that has this fray.
Blossom
And
Fall
the
Valley.
thing I'm trying to understand is like what we should or shouldn't do, and especially can we use the coach or do we need to keep it?
Make your persuasion check, and you're doing legend lore on the fray, not the band.
I just want to hear about their whole discography, actually.
Oh, you're a fan
no.
of the Fray. Name 5.
That's gonna
My
be an
asthmas.
18. Should have asked for help.
What's the DC?
I just said my
20.
asthmas. I prefer the spell bag.
Well, Valis, good to hear from you after so long. The Fray. Well, you're familiar, of course, with Mistra. What? So
mentioned
you
her
know
before,
of
yeah.
the 3 prime gods at the beginning of everything. Kronos. And then he just begins to tell you about the creation.
So, Minka, what were you suggesting before Valis
Well,
left?
if it's in the middle of matriarchy, it's probably not gonna cause things to fall apart because
Well, I think it's if it is utilized in that area, it's tearing at the weave more in an already eroded area. Is again, I only read like half the
this doesn't happen
chapters. It's
by
not-
my house.
Steed is gonna
So
be-
that's
It's-
not huge.
It's a phenomenon in this area.
Has Minka ever heard of wild magic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not wild magic. It's something distinctly different from
But if
wild
it's
magic, but similar.
Okay. So wild magic doesn't cause things to randomly fall apart. It just causes
No, it
unpredictable
just causes.
things.
Yes, this the
Right, so it's-
chaotic and powerful magic occurrences.
So it'll just be unpredictable. So
Treasure starts jumping
Right, but chaotic and unpredictable is not necessarily something that we want on a 5-person raft with up to 9 people.
10.
10 people? Finn.
Does Travaris get to the point before the 2-hour mark is over?
After 1 hour,
Hey.
he says, and that brings us to the weave, once it was created. And at the 2-hour mark, he says, and thus the Fray, a phenomenon unlike many others.
Emily was like, oh, hey guys.
Oh,
A
well,
place where this
I guess we weren't in the area.
weave was damaged. There are many effects. There are individuals who find that they can't cast magic at all. There are those who become much more fey-like in nature, and those who become more fiendish. I've even heard of spells casting themselves, if you can believe that. But before I go into the details and about how you might be able to tell which is about to happen, have I told you about spells?
So, when Alita gets shunted,
Hello.
we'll Ryu-owl, just to give space in the raft again.
Boy, you
Like
guys weren't kidding.
every magic occurrence, I'm like, oh.
And then, like, make a pinwheel, poof, ow, and then flies off
All
there.
right, so we're still not in the area.
Everything's gonna be okay, buddy.
We're okay.
We're
just
okay.
crowded.
Yep.
Very crowded.
Your
So
journey goes by without issue.
Hey.
You can see the shore as it approaches,
God.
and you are able to wash up alongside Minka. If your wild shape were to do anything with this, it doesn't. Assuming that you are, of course, within the realm of this effect. But all of you are now on the northern coast of Lake Darkana. And the fisher folk kind of like would bid you adieu. They're going to hang around. And actually, I think Polk would probably kind of say, we will be here for 2 more days, up and down this area. If you see us and you can signal us, we can give you a ride somewhere else.
And then you'll be leaving to Petrichor after that.
In 9 days, yes.
Okay.
Where will you? From where will you enter Petrichor in 9 days?
Well, presumably.
We will go along the coast in the south, and then nearest the eastern channel, we will go over an area that shouldn't really function the way that it does. How much do you know about physics?
How much do I know about physics, Joe?
Make an intelligence check, flat.
Slightly below.
They took it. They took it.
Not my physics. Intelligence check? Oh my god. 10.
Harrison was like,
10.
Average.
this guy
Completely
doesn't know
average.
physics.
High school. Knowledge of physics.
You've heard of a school of magic that they refer to as physics, and it has certain laws and principles that are a little bit more complicated than paladin magic, and so you don't quite have a good grasp on it. And so they begin to talk to you about this, like, you don't quite understand. Something about tiny little bits of water that are able to, like, vibrate or something, and it's kind of lost on you. But at the end of it, they say, and through the steam, we can make our way to Petrichor. At most times.
Okay. I was trying to ask, like, if we needed to, like, sync up with them in 9 days, where would they be?
Oh,
And we can meet them there.
in 9 days.
You said Eastern Channel, late bottom of the Lake Orcana? Is that, like, kind of...
In 9 days, they will be just roughly. You don't use miles. Well, roughly like roughly a quarter day's travel to the east of where you guys encounter them. So a little bit closer to. I'm trying to think of like landmarks. You didn't really go in that area. Closer to Candlewood.
Thank you.
Would that be near?
Just keeping our options open.
Keep the options
No.
Keep
open,
the options
Not
open.
any nearer
depending
than
on
you
how
are now.
much of a rush a small person is.
I don't think I'm gonna make it another week, but that's.
As a question, could Minka have taken a short rest in between the first wild shape and the second wild shape?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. You have that. You have a whole hour before Alina comes out
Yeah.
when you land. So
Excellent.
yeah, no problem. You take that short
Try to
rest.
scooch over as much as possible. Give
Yeah.
Minka some room.
So, I'm assuming, so we're on the other shore. We did it. We're successful.
Correct.
yeah,
alright.
we did it.
Am I
So these-
still Javarising?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
He hasn't gotten to the point where we can take out the coach or not, right?
No.
Okay.
I can't go in there for
Can-
until tomorrow now.
Are you?
Oh, okay.
we,
never mind.
we missed the opportunity
Are
to
you
bring the cat out.
capable of moving while you're in your bead form?
Yeah.
I mean-
yeah, I can move. I just kind of follow the group but don't really pay attention to anything.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was actually like you're just like
Oh,
And the worst possible effect, in my
It's more like
opinion,
a
anyways, Valis, is a storm of salamanders. Oh, we haven't even talked about weather yet. When a hot wind meets a cold wind, and he begins to talk about rain.
if we head north west from here, we will hit a road eventually that should take us pretty close to Dockbriar.
Pretty much due north from where you are now, yeah.
I think we should be okay. We should just keep moving.
Walk and talk.
All right.
Alina
Sorry,
has
Dad.
this whole time. Alina has had a short bow that she got just in case.
Yeah.
And so while we're walking, can she find? So I want if her staff is not already slingable across her back.
Yeah.
I want to kind of tie something to it or something and just.
Sure. Yeah, if you want, you can use just like, I mean,
I can give you a piece of the leather that I used to do mine.
Fantastic.
there you go.
Tie. And then to placate Ori, she's gonna pull out her short bow and be like, it's mundane, see? I listen.
Said it.
Oh,
Oh,
Ori.
Things.
yes.
Minka's gonna hold up 2 flutes that she keeps forgetting about and offer them to. They're 2 very mundane flutes.
Oh my god.
They're like, yeah, I mean, they'll work.
Protect Minka at all costs.
One of them is a little longer than the other.
Billy's in the bag, like, you take one of these flutes.
We found them in the tower.
Maybe don't take one of these flutes.
They're normal. We checked.
I very much appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna take one of them.
The longer one or the shorter one?
It's very important you say which one.
The shorter one.
Okay.
Interesting.
Pocket.
Make an insight check.
You need to become attuned to this flute.
14.
Short flute, go to dude.
Wait, what?
Short flute, go to dude.
I want to take it back.
There is.
Why are you gonna make me feel like I did it wrong?
You had just had a conversation with Billy, and Minka had just talked about finding this within a tower. And you feel like maybe there's details that are relevant in that conversation, but with the 14, short flute goes to 2.
Wait, which tower? Wait. Wait. You found these in the Hag's Tower.
Yeah, they're fine.
There were a whole bunch of
There are other instruments too.
Let me see it again.
Here's the other one.
What's up with this long one now?
Well, this one, I mean, it's a longer version of the short one. It's
It has lower notes.
All right, I'm sitting on the cart and taking 20.
between a clarinet and an oboe?
So you, Ori, you as one of your features, you switch over to Starfinder and you take 20.
I thought that was a thing.
It's not. But
I thought that was a thing in 5e.
as you're thinking about
no,
this,
like
Ori,
3.5, I think. Yeah.
now that you have this longer flute, they're almost exactly the same, except the longer one is a longer version of the shorter one. The shorter one, almost one might call like a child's instrument. But with a 14, doot.
I was thinking it was more like there's some weird magical.
It doesn't seem magical.
implications.
Oh, God.
We did see some horrific things and we left them alone. These were not horrific.
I feel like
Wait, what
there
did
is
you-
an inherent horribleness,
No, but we know for sure that they're not trapped or anything.
but they
You
were
got those from the...
Yes, I think you're starting to see why. Why would hags have these?
Hag
These
Tower.
are
Do you
probably
think-
something on a body.
Why do hags have anything?
Do you think that maybe they were
Because
collecting these
I was
because
told
they
they
were going
trade.
to control some people to join the eulogy of Lord Artasa to try to get the magic items for themselves?
No.
That
Could
must
that-
be it.
long
That feels
con.
far-fetched.
Longest con.
With a 14, a lot of stuff is feeling far-fetched.
Nah, that can't be it.
Do you want us to cleanse them?
Sounds legit to me.
Wait, Billy, do you think
I
there's
do
any...
appreciate the sentiment, and I don't have one that is currently functional, so I do appreciate it. As
I cast detect
Yes.
magic and
Okay.
just look over these instruments because I also took one, a clarinet.
Yeah.
wait,
You cast detect magic, and as it rolls across, first of all, Alina's waistcoat, like brilliant, glowing bright, almost as much as Javaris. It's like kind of distracting,
Just a little bit of like a nosebleed.
but it does make it very obvious that these are not magic
Okay.
in any way, shape, or form.
Oh no.
Emily's in the chat.
in the chat?
We're
Emily
going.
said, my new personality is short. Go to. I'm sorry.
Minka, what's
I
wrong?
love you, Emily.
We didn't bring anything to trade.
What?
kind of things do they like for trade?
All sorts of stuff. But we
we've
didn't.
got all sorts of stuff.
I have money.
We
Some
got
money.
stuff. We got potatoes.
Money doesn't really go very far.
Potatoes?
Darkbriar?
Yeah, no, not Darkbriar. The potatoes are still good, maybe.
We have some, let's see, rummaging through the bag. Right here, teeth.
No.
We don't have those. We have those. We have those weird arrows from
I've
the
got
forest.
No.
some blowgun needles that I have no blowgun for.
Wait, and Finn at this kind of perks up and says, "You said not Darkbriar,
Not Darkbriar.
but isn't that where we're going?"
Well, yeah, but next to Darkbriar is where our ultimate goal is. I just keep saying Darkbriar because people have
It's-
actually heard of that.
We got a toenail.
Well, what
I don't.
what kind of stuff do they want there, wherever
All
this
sorts of
mysterious
stuff.
place is?
It's
Is
basically.
this you've been there before? He looks around and he says, "Does she know her aunt?
Huh?
Thieves can't. Does she know her aunt?"
Our aunt.
No, but she might.
Do you speak Thieves' Cant?
Well,
Okay. All of a sudden, they're just talking about their family. And what he is asking you essentially is, now that Minka is asking about or talking about this thing, Finn seems to be looking for something related to this shared pastime of yours. Minka mentioning something near Darkbriar brought this up, and so there is likely something of interest near Darkbriar.
what?
But he kind of says, okay, well, then, I mean, just what kind of stuff do they need? Maybe we can get it on our way.
Oh, yeah. So, money is kind of useless because you can't buy anything there, but you can trade. So, fabric's always nice. Building materials, food.
What was
I have it.
Do they like oysters?
We have
How far away
potatoes.
from the?
A lot of potatoes.
Oh dear.
And what
was
about
she
this
looking
thing?
for?
And I pull out the
in this direction that we may be headed near Darkbriar.
UX puzzle box.
Make a persuasion check. Make it at advantage.
Let this play out first.
Ooh. Persuasion.
You should have bought some oysters.
We have 50
They were not gonna
pounds of
last.
potatoes. I cannot emphasize this
19?
enough.
Well, I mean, you probably remember our aunt had this caravan, right? And was not in charge of it, but from time to time, they would check in, collect money, manage inventory, things like that. And this caravan is the strangest thing, but, if you haven't seen it before, you can't find it at all. And there's a guy there, I've heard, in that caravan, one of the drivers, and he would probably know how to get where I'm trying to get.
Ah, I see.
And so that would be worth sticking around for.
Right.
So their aunt? Are they like by marriage?
Is distant in the past blood relation.
Adoption.
Yeah, we'll roll with that.
Adopted.
We'll roll with that.
Right. Well, Finn was actually adopted later on, but
Yeah.
Insight check.
Insight check.
Yeah.
This tracks with Billy.
He's just kind of looking at Minka and seems to be thinking. Hard to tell, really. I mean,
Weird, man.
Ori's in a cult. Die.
But you didn't hear it
die.
from me. Or that makes sense.
Paint.
paint or die.
Yes.
Right.
That might be good.
Well, perhaps if we
If they're still there.
are all able to find this potential area near Darkbriar Caravan, perhaps
Maybe we can do
we
something
can
for them. And
find,
trade.
yeah,
That might be
find
good.
something that.
It's not really an
What?
on. It's a taskmaster.
I think that sounds good, right? I think we'll all kind of be on the lookout for.
Absolutely, yeah, I always am. Okay.
Wonderful. All right.
So you make your way further.
How does one join your cult?
My cult? We'll talk.
Oh,
later.
you ass!
The terrain around all of you is changing as you are walking and talking. It goes from a sandy beach to a very thin strip of green grass and little bits of shrubs. And then pretty abruptly, it begins to get... What? It begins to get a little bit... not swampier, but there is more like moss than grass that kind of clings to the rocks here. And it's more like you are in like a wet, stony... oh, man, I'm forgetting the word for it. Not a marsh, not a bog. No. In ways, it reminds you of the Fields of Folly, and for reasons probably because they're very close to each other, where you are and where the westernmost part of that area is. But here, it is a little bit different. There is life. There are none of these little red strings that you remember. There are here and there elements of what may have at one point been a road. You can see little paving stones that are set into the dirt. There are a few dead trees, but nothing that is alive that is much larger than moss. And every now and then, as you are walking, you do pass almost at first. Well, everybody make perception checks.
Can I make one for Rez too?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Hey, that's
Billy's too mad about this potential close optional cult, and rolled a nat one.
21 also.
Okay.
Alina got a 10 and Rez got a 3.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Consistent 14s on receptions
right.
today.
So with the 21s being the highest of these, I would say you, and actually the 20 as well, you would recognize that it's not just that there are like bits of broken stone in these bluffs. There are bits of really, really ruined buildings. Such that, I mean, at no point in the distant past were these even really like a city. These are barely ruins. But they kind of dot the landscape here, and as you progress, there are more of them. And it's snowing. Though it is about 75 degrees, there is this light, flaky fall, and quickly it becomes apparent that it is not snow, but not quite sure what it is. It's a darkish material that's almost black.
Ash?
No. Touching it, it doesn't respond like ash. It doesn't become like a smudge. It kind of crumbles and breaks. So, what was that?
Cool.
Make a nature
Everybody
check.
Name every flaky black substance you can think of.
You don't know.
Is it something that...
It's a 4.
Because we're still pretty close to the tower, right? We're now
You're very
on
close.
the
You're
north
under it.
side.
I mean, looking up, there's basically a mountain that rises up, and you can't see the tower, but you know that it is like directly over top, thousands and thousands of feet away. But you're in the shadow of that tower. That's what is casting a shadow over this whole valley.
Is this something that I would have encountered before in this area? Like, is this some like
Make an Arcana
You
check
know,
and
some
take
shit
your
coming down
bonus.
Ooh.
You got your bonus.
bonus?
Shit. Fey shit.
Oh, it's gonna have the bonus.
It's one of those days.
It's 18.
Rolled natural 20 at the beginning of the session.
It was an
It's
8 or an
hard
18.
for you to tell at first because there is no scent to them, and the color has been completely drained away. But these are blossoms, petals. These are chrysanthemums. And as they touch the ground, they crumble and just seem to almost seep into the dirt. You continue to walk, and as you do, who is leading the way?
I feel like at that point,
Billy, make a perception check. Oh, sorry, you were raising your hand, so I assumed
No,
it was
I
you.
was.
I would probably try to hasten a little bit.
I would expect Ori to be
Knowing that
leading,
these
frankly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Billy doesn't know the area.
Make a perception check, Ori.
19
19. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good.
for being lost. Yeah. More focused on the blossoms, I guess.
What's really kind of coming to the forefront of your mind is this road. You are aware of the Blue Boat Coastal Roadway. You've seen, I mean, you actually, I mean, you may not know like the construction principles behind it, but you know that it's a well-built road and well-maintained. And there are some similarities to what you're seeing here, but this has been long since kind of overgrown and reclaimed by nature around it. Except as you are walking, dead center in the middle of the pathway, there is a huge brown boulder that is different color than anything else around. It seems to have at some point kind of like crumpled in because you can see there are cracks along the earth all around it. And that does stand out. And it's kind of directly in your path, so you do have to walk around it.
How far away is it?
You would see it probably like 200 feet off. At first, it looks like just another rock amongst everything else. Weird color, but as you are getting closer, it's definitely different.
There's something weird about that rock up ahead.
Ooh, I want to look at the rock.
Gonna make a cool rock check?
I want to make a cool rock check.
Just be careful.
It's a natural 20.
The coolest rock!
Coolest rock that ever was.
So in this like dark valley, Minka, your eyes grow bright because there is a rock that is not like any other rock here, and that's always interesting. So you begin to, but then you stop because there's other shapes there. And as you squint out, you can see elements that look at first almost like just kind of stones along the side of this road. Mm-hmm. At one point, that was probably a fence. You can see most of it has fallen away. There's just like a couple boards that are just slumped into the dirt. And beyond that, you see an element of a building. And this rock directly between two ruins, this feels weird. This feels almost like something blocking the road very much on purpose. You haven't seen any other travelers here, but this seems like a path that people might take. This seems like an ambush.
So I think he's going to stop short, which is notable because she starts to run towards the rock and then immediately stops.
Whoa. What?
Do you guys remember when there were a bunch of bandits that put like a log across the road and then we shamed them into fishing?
We did. That was amazing.
This is kind of like that.
We should
Does this feel like an ambush?
we should
think-
shame people
Make an
into
insight check.
fishing.
Can I look around and see if I...
Make a perception check again.
I think someone put this rock here.
We know you're here.
Block
Insight?
Yeah, insight.
27.
Expediency.
Make a deception check, Billy. Make it a disadvantage because you don't necessarily know that you're deceiving somebody.
But if they're here, then we do know that we're here, so it's truth, so it's persuasion or intimidation.
But D&D doesn't have passive deception. So.
Dang it.
13. Okay.
I bet 6E would.
So you yell that out, and you just hear, well, if you had stopped me before, I could have sold you something, but you weren't stopping, and you were in a dangerous place. And all of a sudden, from behind you, like separating out from the stone, you see a horrifying-looking gnome. Purple skin, blotches all over, and they say, well, you don't look that good either.
I was gonna say. Skin tone.
Greetings.
You guys want to buy potions?
Potions?
Oh.
I would
What's your
peruse your
name,
potion.
Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's super
Does it matter?
Why?
Insight.
I don't know.
Make an
I
insight
like to
check.
know who I'm talking to.
Hey, do you also like?
Make a persuasion check.
I will.
Dirty 20. With the dirty 20, I mean, I don't know what you're trying to insight.
Like, is this guy... Seems kind of sketch, just
yeah.
inherently.
That's accurate.
All right.
Hey,
Well, I wanna check
23.
you said
23. With a 23, he just kind of grumbles a little bit and he says, they call me Michael Doozit.
Or Michael. Nice to meet you. What kind of potions do you have?
What's your name?
No.
You know what? I don't want to sell you potions anymore.
no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
And he
kidding.
just starts walking
I'm
away.
just no. My name is No. Like you're like the millionth person
Make a
who's made fun of me
deception.
for this.
Make a deception
Oh
check.
my god, NOH. People always walk away.
Sure, sometimes we
21.
call her
When I
Alina,
tell them my name,
as a
I was being
nickname.
perfectly
It's like a
nice.
fun-
You know what? When people call me Doozit, they do the same thing. So I kind of get it.
Okay. So, like, what potions do you have?
You know what? The rest of you fuck off. I'm going to only talk to this one.
Wait.
But I wanted potions.
No,
too.
come here. And just like
Okay.
pulls you by the bottom of your garment.
Wait,
Like,
tell him
he's
I'm
only
good.
about
Come
2.5
here.
feet tall.
Get it?
What?
Tell
Because
him I'm good.
no, come here.
What?
So, what was his name again?
Michael Doozit.
Erm-
He pulls you off to the side and he says, all right, look, I got some healing potions. I got some that are stronger than others. What do you need? I got a potion of watchful rest. I got a mummy rot antidote. You got mummy rot? You would know. You smell real bad if you got mummy rot. Yeah, you need a potion of growth? You need a potion.
I don't know.
Hey. I see the people you're traveling with. You need a potion of masculine growth because
I wouldn't presume to speak for either of the boys on that front, but listen. Okay, can I just see? Can you just lay him out for me?
that's a whole lot of bottles, lady.
Okay. Healing potions are always good. So, listen, I don't have a ton to trade. If you're okay with talking to my friends too, we can pool our resources.
For all of you, you can't really hear them, but then this gnome, and you can see this like bulging eye through the purple skin. Just
Billy
like,
holds
peering
up
at
a
all of
potion
you.
bottle and like shakes it a little bit.
I mean, come on. We can. If you
The pink
sell
one.
to us as what
The pink one.
you want to sell me with the pink one.
It's the only person who's not too desperate. Yeah, get them over here.
Okay. Hey, come here. Try not to do names because Faye bullshit, you know.
Sure.
Seems like there might be some deals over here.
Can you at least have him look at this one?
I could use some
I want that back.
potions and poisons.
Fucking A.
If there were any, just, I'll slip you some. Okay, go. Just go. After. Get the potion. Get the thing.
Oh, Sorry.
We shake on it, and there's a single gold coin in your hand.
At this point, as all this is going on over there, he leans over to you and he says, honestly, this is why I follow people before I talk to them, because there's a whole bunch of fucking weirdos out there.
Look, I know they are weirdos.
Do they want to buy potions or not?
We do, but I think that everybody wants to buy. Come on, you could make such good
Are you
deals
going
with
over?
us.
Okay. You walk over, and this individual says, all right. She said you have a bunch of money, so do you need
I
potions?
did not say that. I said we as a group can pool our resources.
Resources is money.
Yeah, but all of us, between the 6 of us.
What have you got?
He recaps the potions. Healing. He has a better healing potion, a potion of watchful rest, a mummy rot antidote, a potion of growth, and a potion of mastery.
While this is happening, I would like to slip away into the shadows
Make a stealth check.
to see if I can attempt to assist Cheshire in some escapades.
Okay, make a deception check. Or sorry, a stealth check.
And I might never get that potion back.
Out of curiosity, you seem to be a man of great knowledge.
I'm a fucking gnome.
Do you know what this is? And pull out what Billy handed.
Is it the haste potion? Yeah. I like gold because you can exchange it for goods and services.
I get that. I'm not looking to trade it. I'm just looking to find out what it is. You toss the gold that Corey gave me.
Okay. Yeah, it's a potion of haste. It's pretty basic stuff.
Goods and services.
I don't know how much you really care about it, but it's from Darby.
Okay. Interesting. Never been. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
No.
No. How disappointing.
What?
Oh, well.
It's my name.
He turns and he just goes, no, not you know.
I gotta say, I will never let my mother live it down.
He turns and he looks at both of you and he says, okay, so do you guys want something or not? I need gold. I don't really need to trade.
For your healing potions, what are you looking for? How much?
How many do you want?
How many you got?
I got 5.
All the same strength?
I got 7. 5 of them are the same strength. 2 of them are not. 2 of them are really good.
Your numbers keep changing. That's why I gotta.
Yeah, how much do you want for the really good ones?
150 gold from you. 175 from you. And 200 from that one over there.
Okay, well, listen. I don't have that much, but I bet between... That's what I'm saying about pooled resources, right? Like, if you only want to deal with me, I'm not going to be able to buy anything. But if you deal with the whole group, then you can probably make a few sales here.
I just don't want to talk to them.
You don't have to talk to anybody,
Just
but
go
just...
get the gold then.
What? Go get the gold. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. 1 second. And Alina's going to go back to the group and be like... Okay, he's got like some healing potions, 150 for 2 of the strongest ones. I didn't ask about the weaker ones, but you guys have money. I have a bit. I have
are
like
you joking?
70. No, I'm not joking.
You guys have money?
I have 2 gold. Does
That's
that help?
10 gold.
Somehow I have 75
Oh, well,
gold, and I
actually,
don't
I
know
have a little
how
more.
that happened.
I think
That's because I had
you
a
got one of the
windfall.
Gearsome allowances.
Oh, right.
It was 30
Okay.
gold.
Listen, guys, respectfully, I'm a busy cleric. I got things to do, people to see and places to be, so...
You're a cleric.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, all right. I do not have
Could
the
you-
funds for the... Huh?
Ask him if he has some of those things that you needed, those reagents.
I got a 19 on my stealth.
Okay. You feel pretty stealthy.
Hey, okay. I got a level with you. I do not have a lot of gold, but there is one thing that I'm in the market for especially, and that's reagents for the teleportation circle spell. So it's like fancy chalks with the jewels.
No, I know what it is, yeah.
Do you have any?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, how much do you want for one of the basic healing potions?
40 gold.
Okay.
I would like to attempt to swipe at some stuff while
Okay.
he's distracted by the conversation going on here.
Is it just a regular ass healing
Just
potion?
kind of like sidling up behind, all casual, if he hasn't noticed. And then if he does, then I'll back off. If
He certainly does notice.
Oh.
And as you get kind of close to him, he says, "Hey, buddy, potion of watchful rest."
Well, I was just gonna see if you had anything. No, have it. Yeah, no potions for me.
You see this like bulging eye over his shoulder, and he just slowly turns back around.
I look over at Cheshire.
Is it? It's just a regular healing potion, right?
Just a regular healing potion. yes.
Regular ass, cool, love it. Okay. Listen, it is an absolute thrill doing business with you. Got anything else? So let's see. So there's the what was the antidote to the?
For mummy rot.
Yeah, is that common around here?
A little further west,
Like where?
like in the capital, under the capital, but they won't tell you that.
What's the capital? Do I know where's the capital? Is that the?
One second here.
It's the capital
Can I hear that?
I can't read that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not trying to hide this. He just doesn't really want to talk to anybody else.
Alina, can you ask what the symptoms of mummy rot are?
Yeah, sure. 1 second.
You smell bad.
It's the
Oh.
Salyaheim.
Salyaheim, yeah.
Okay.
Salyaheim, the walled city.
I think Ori had it once.
Wait.
Glory
So
permanently
what
has
does that do? Like, what is mummy rot? Like, I mean, you obviously know a lot, being a cleric.
Yeah.
So what does it do? Like, what is the symptoms?
It rots you away, and you just don't get better, and you kind of crumble away into dust. It's not great.
How much do you want for that antidote?
Does that sound like how the salicylacine was described?
Make a Arcana check. I would say an Arcana, a Nature, or a History check. Your choice, and they're all different in terms of the
All
results.
equally bad, I think. Nature, Arcana, or History. I guess.
From this tiny little pouch, he pulls out, larger than the pouch itself, a little glass bottle. Or sorry, it is a clay bottle shaped like a scarab with faint blue and yellow paint on it that is kind of worn away. And there's a little cork that holds liquid inside of it, and he says, 150 gold.
Oh, too rich for my blood. I'm sorry, my friend.
Look, I've given you a discount for everything, but this is the only thing. This is hard to make.
I
You have to
understand.
kill a mummy for
I
it.
do not have enough gold for you. Like, I get it.
I'm just explaining my craft, okay?
No, I know. Believe me.
Tucks it back away.
I can tell nobody's better than you. I think I've exhausted what I'm looking for. So, I mean, I'll leave you to talk to my pink friend if you want, but if you don't want to talk to anybody else, then good doing business with you.
You want anything?
2 of those are regular strength healing potions, please.
Pulls 2 of them out.
80 gold.
There you go. You can add 2 regular strength healing potions to your inventory.
I got a
Heal
16
That's good for bringing
on
somebody up.
whether the mummy rot
All the healers are
sounded
down.
similar, and it was Arcana.
With a 16, mummy rot. So you actually, what he's
happens.
talking
It's okay.
about is very akin to alligators in the sewers of New York. That's a conspiracy theory that he's talking about. And it's about these like mummies that live in the sewers of this capital.
It's like the alligators.
Literally, yeah. That's what this guy is saying.
Okay.
And so, like, and
So
so there are people who like market this. It's pretty popular.
Yeah. But I'm probably chuckling, like,
Yeah.
almost positive.
And that definitely to you suggests that maybe he's
Maybe
not
the
a
other
cleric.
Potions, yeah, and he's probably not a cleric.
They look like healing potions for what it's worth.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have done the thing where you taste
But
a little,
he's,
right?
he's
Like-
more like a charlatan than a
Uncut.
cleric.
Hard to tell. But at this moment, you recognize that this is mostly a conspiracy theory. There are not necessarily mummies that you've seen, anyways. The psilocybin, that's something that seemed very real. It was rooted in some kind of a conflict that you stumbled into, and they had very real details about these 2 individuals, the Lord of Jaws and the psilocybin, and that seems to be very different than mummies. This was an individual that created monstrosities.
Right. Okay. Cool.
When Alina gets back to the group, she's going to be like, dude, have you heard of mummy rot?
Can I make some type
Yeah,
of check
I've
to
heard that
see
it's
if it
terrible.
sounds at all similar to?
Make a
what
medicine
Peter
check.
flew?
Make a medicine check.
Sounds fucking dumb.
It is quite
11.
terrible.
Doesn't really, but it could. Hard to tell.
Hard to tell.
So I tried Ori, but all he had was this, and she holds up your belt.
Insight check. Or ear for deceit. You're lying to me. I know it. I know it.
I mean, you saw him pass things to Cheshire, so yeah, it's not hard to tell. Just a regular
First of
ear.
all, that is mine. Yes. And second of all, I saw him hand you things,
No, you didn't.
and I saw you hand him the gold that I gave you.
handed
Yes,
him a bunch
you
of
flipped it
gold.
over to him.
Yeah, I handed him a bunch of gold. He gave me your belt for the gold.
No, I had the belt, and you took it from me when I gave you the gold.
Is Cheshire's last name Gaslight?
Middle.
You lost that a long time ago.
No, I didn't. I've had it this whole time. Well, except for last night for a little bit, but that was beside the point.
What happened last night?
Billy seems to weirdly like notice.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
yeah,
Ben's gonna like lean over to you, Mink it, and go. So, like, what about this rock? It hasn't moved. We haven't moved. But they just. He turns and everybody's just like talking about this like potion and arguing about the gold.
Yeah, it's really upsetting, actually. I'm going to, while they're arguing, I'm going to ritually cast. Actually, I'm going to think about ritually casting something, and I'd be like, oh, I mean, I could use magic to try to figure it out, but then are we in the bad place? Do I know anything else about the rock itself, or am I just still too far away from it?
Still too far away. If you want, you can get closer.
Oh, we're not at the rock.
You're pretty close to the rock. You're probably about 90 feet off from it.
So it still feels very much like an ambush. And I don't know if this gnome was the ambush. It
Hard to
seems
tell.
weird to have a merchant be an ambush.
Ambushing merchants is pretty unusual. You do remember at one point Ori had joked about surprise merchants, I believe, but unlikely.
Well, he did say he wants to choose who he trades with. So.
So this feels unrelated somehow. I feel like this gnome is unrelated to this rock.
And all the bandits are just watching us trade with this idiot.
Should we rob them now? No. They're getting a really good deal. We messed up.
Hey, Michael,
Gold
did
for
you do
regular
this
healing
rock?
potion is a pretty good deal.
What?
The rock that's here, was that you?
No? Is that a potion?
All right. See you later.
Yeah.
maybe.
And he just
Oh,
disappears.
thank you.
So I don't think that he did it.
No, I think we should go around the rock. Give it like a wide
I
berth.
start to approach the rock.
Okay.
I
You
don't think
approach
he's
the
taking
rock.
your advice, Nick.
Free action.
I mean, isn't going around? Oh, you mean like all the way around, opposed to through?
Now that we're closer,
mind.
is there anything?
It would be tough. You're in a place where you would need to backtrack for probably
this
about
seem like-
half
Actually,
an hour.
hold on.
Is there like an
Raz,
impact
Yeah.
site?
can you just go up? Don't touch the rock, but just can you be invisible? I mean, you're invisible right now. Can you just see like if there's anybody like hiding out or whatever? We'll take a
Yeah,
look
that's like my
around.
thing. Yeah.
I know it's your thing. Yeah.
Was
you got
this,
this.
Flies
how
off.
far are we now?
Make a perception check for us.
100 feet or so? Was this rock
90
like,
feet, but Valis is 80.
Was this rock like, is there an impact site? Was it rolled? Like, are there any signs of that sort of, like, how it got here?
Make a nature check.
Are you a rock? 17.
All right. I mean, at least we're not in the mist. I mean, it's a rock. I don't know what I'm going to tell you. It looks
6.
weird. It looks like, I mean, just come up here and take a look at it.
Okay, hold on one
Had
sec.
Physics.
I'm just gonna-
Why don't you just
I'm not
attack
coming
the
up.
rock?
I'm not coming up. I'm just looking.
But you're getting a visual perspective.
Why don't you just attack it?
Perspective. What do you
It's
mean? Why don't you
definitely
just
a
attack
weird
it?
rock. And last time something
like
was
it
a
has
weird
teeth.
A
rock.
lot of the
We've fought
times
clams,
that
we've
there
fought
are
ooze, we've
interesting
fought other
rocks, they
ooze,
end up
we've fought other
being not
ooze.
interesting rocks, but things that look like rocks and are meant to kill us.
This is like
Yeah.
the
Are we
fifth
gonna find
time
more
that we
ooze?
fought a
It's almost
rock.
as if one of our party mates
has an affinity
Fascination
for
with rocks.
shiny
How
rocks.
can I ambush the party? I don't know. Make
Listen,
something
always
size
a
as
fucking rock.
It's
There
a
is-
visual perspective with rocks.
There is one lesson that Minka will never learn.
Hey.
Right.
No worries. We have a lot of that in this group.
So, really,
And so
Where are
all
we?
of you are on my side of this, and you are kind of heading in the direction of that big rock that is right in the path. You can see there's these, there's that kind of element of what is a fence. Off and to the left, you can see the ruined building. There's a downed tree. There are a few elements of trees that are kind of like just dead without foliage or anything, not even fallen leaves around it, and so they've been there for some time. And then just lots of stone.
I look at the rock through Rez's eyes.
As you look down at it, you see exactly what you see here. A rock that is literally like wedged into the brick that makes up this path. And so certainly it is not something that like just grew here. It looks like it either fell, and it would have had to fall straight because it's not like rolling out of a crater or anything like that. Or it, I mean, hard to tell, but it's definitely weird. And you can see all of that around you.
Can I like look up? Did it fall for
Raz is like, whoa. And he kind of dips
Go with
a
me,
little
buddy.
bit.
Go with me. Just look up.
But he like kind of accounts for that and begins to level off and just looks up, and you can see the astral eclipse above you.
Okay. So if it fell from straight, like there's no obvious.
No, it's not like there's like a ledge over top that it would fall
Okay.
from.
This is weird. Okay.
what if it fell from the sky? What if it's like from the sky?
That's
Like
a
an
very
asteroid or
distinct
something?
possibility. I rolled
Well-
a 6.
Nothing's happened to Rez, right? Like just kind of up next to it.
So is he getting right up there?
He's just like where I put him.
Okay. So he's just kind of
Yeah.
looking at it. He flies around one side, he flies around the other, and he's like, it's just all rock.
I did ask him to look around to see if he saw anybody hiding out.
He flies over again, and he really doesn't find a whole lot. Not even like a lot of animals here. It's pretty quiet. There are little elements of crushed, like this black element of flour that has fallen down, and before it kind of crumbles and seeps into the ground, it does sit for just a bit. And you would imagine this is, if you had not been there before, you are certainly in a place where if you cast magic, something will happen. But no people.
Okay. So Alina's gonna go back in and just kind of report all of that and be like, I don't know. I don't want to backtrack and go around. It just
You said it.
Hey, Valis, can you do the thing where you can sense if there's like evil stuff?
just be careful because I think weird stuff might happen if we cast magic in this area.
Does
that
using divine
magic?
sense count as using magic?
No.
Alright. Sure. I need to get a little bit closer. How much closer do I need to
Touch it.
I don't think I need to get that.
Poke it with a stick.
Everything has touch as a distance, technically.
Let's see.
Even
divine
our
sense,
hearts.
divine sense.
Especially our hearts.
60 feet. Alright, so I'll walk another 30 feet forward and use divine sense.
I'll
Okay.
kind of follow close behind to help keep eyes since it's non-magic
I
stuff.
will not.
So everybody arrange yourself where you want to be.
I want to sneakily
Make a stealth check.
Wherever
go.
Alina
60
goes,
feet.
Billy
Ah, very
will
good.
go.
That's 60 feet
I'll
right
slink
there.
up behind Valis.
I'm gonna go up
Billy's gonna
to
follow Alina.
Yeah.
make my way behind this tree here.
Or like
Stealthing?
behind or next to.
Next
see
to.
how
We're
stealthy.
being realistic.
Back 90 feet where we were.
Cheshire's just like gonna sit down, like, oh my god, these guys are idiots.
I think I'm gonna stay with Cheshire to be
Don't
like,
touch it.
I have a deep. I'm like trying to learn the lesson of do not touch the suspicious rock.
Is Finn around as well?
Oh yeah.
Where's Finn? Where's
He is
hanging out? No.
60 feet away from this rock. You cast Divine Sense. No celestial. There is one fiend. Res.
Anything else?
No undead.
Okay. No fiends left of the undead.
He got me.
Minus res.
Are there any? Is there anything in the ruins? Like, can I see in here?
From where you are, with your previous perception check, sure. I mean, looking into there, you can see little bits of stone. You can see there are elements of dead moss that have kind of crumbled and dried up there. It's slowly kind of sinking into the dirt as bits of rock fall away. They kind of, naturally become part of the landscape, and this is going back to the earth. There's nothing really in there.
Why do we need to go backtrack? Can we just
So maybe like 40 feet in either direction, you're starting to reach on one side really, really tall elements of stone, and on the other, a place where you would have to kind of edge into what is the earth is broken in such a way that you can't really tell if there are like crevasses below, but it looks like very uneven and very I don't know what the word for it is, but like a very crumbling plain.
Okay.
do you want to
Ori,
just...
Right.
does using magic weapons, is that bad?
I would imagine that if there was some activation of said weapons, that would, but if it was something that was innate within the weapon itself, likely not. But again, I only read the first few chapters.
What if it is just a regular rock?
Well, to be safe,
Somebody go touch it or let's move on.
maybe we
touch
can
it.
just kind of go
touch
around
it.
this way. instead of-
Suddenly, Ori's like, "Oh yeah!"
Oh my god.
I'm not magical. I can't touch a thing.
Lead into it.
I can only cast Thieves' Scan. Wait.
You walk up to it, and nobody can really stop you because you're stealth 19, and so you're just
23.
Oh, yeah, so yeah, you're creeping up there, no problem.
But I did
and you
just
go
shout,
over
so.
and you touch the rock. Ori, as you put your hand on it, it's cool beneath your hand. There are little bits of like dirt and mud that kind of come away on your hand, and so if it's an illusion, it's a great one.
It's not fake. It's a rock. I think it's just a rock. Is it just a rock?
I mean, it seems like it, yeah.
Like, it's just a rock,
You guys
but it's
wanna
a
go?
weird rock because of the material, or like the...
I'm gonna go look at the rock.
It's
We don't-
not...
Make it-
it's
make
the
a
only
nature
rock
check.
around here.
From the
just
checks that
kind
you
of
have
rock.
made, it's definitely weird. It's strange that it's come here. It looks different, but that's kind of all that you put together. If there's
Finn-
other things you want to do to try to ascertain the nature of it, let me know.
Does Finn come with us, or does he stay back with
He's going to
Cheshire?
stay back with Cheshire.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. With a dirty 20, this is rock, and you're sure of that. Is it some kind of a sediment? No, it's like too uniform, and the brown nature makes it more like a dirt than an igneous rock. And every time that you try to come up with a particular type, all that you can think of is just rock. And that's weird.
Guys, there's no way Joe just made this map for us to just look at a fucking rock.
There's the fossilized dragon
Besides
turd.
around here that might... Like,
The password is open.
turning my focus away from the rock because I'm like, this is just a rock, but what the fuck is going on here that would put this rock in this place? I'm gonna look around to see if there's anything else.
Let's just go
Divine
past
sense
the
again.
rock.
Divine sense again.
Divine sense casts out, and within 60 feet, only the one fiend.
It's
Past the rock.
Let's just go past
All
the
right,
rock.
Billy and Alina just walk past the rock.
it's too
Rock must
rock.
Let's stay.
It's too rock like.
It's too
It doesn't make any sense. I don't like this.
Why
Does
did
it-
you do this to us, Joe? It's a rock.
Billy and Alina just
What
walk
do we-
past the rock.
What are we
That's how
counting
it's
for?
You succeed at walking past the rock.
Is there?
I'm
No check
sorry, walking
required.
past a bridge meant that we got
There's
shooted
no
back.
That's true.
no one around. Nothing hidden around. That like.
Actually, Ori, now that you're looking at it, most of your party is beyond the rock. Nothing else, as far as you can tell.
Guys,
What are we
it's
waiting
just
for?
it's just a rock.
It's not
Okay,
though.
It's not, but and it's fucking weird.
It's a
but
rock, but it's weird that it's this rock right here.
It is, but what does that mean for us?
I don't know,
Anything?
'cause
I don't
it
know.
might be
Maybe we should
decorative.
just keep
Let's
walking.
Could
continue
this have
on.
something
It's
to do with
fossilized
the
dragon turd.
blossoms that were, or the chrysanthemums that were?
I don't want to touch shit.
Wait.
Make a nature check.
Said that?
Make a nature check.
Yeah. Oh hey.
With a natural 20, as you try to determine. What did you say?
Is this related to what was going on with the chrysanthemums?
No. Natural 20, you are sure that the flowers and this weird rock are in no way related. Other than the fact that they happen to be in the same place right now.
Is this
I
the
like to make
most
an
wasted
insight
natural
check.
20?
That'd be
Insight
the most
check.
wasted.
Okay, make an
Is
insight check.
Joe trying to make us use magic to figure out what this rock
That's not an insight check.
That That's cheating.
Okay, do I think there's any merit to Cheshire's dragon turd theory?
Make a nature check.
Billy has given up caring.
Oh no. Alright, 7.
Maybe.
Can I have advantage?
You've heard very few things about dragons. They're back in the world. You've heard that they're quite hungry, and you've heard a few other things about them. But aside from that, you don't know enough about them to know if this could be a dragon turd. Okay. It sure looks like a rock, and Minka's sitting there saying, "Rock?" So,
What's wrong?
Okay, let me put it this way. If normally when you look at a rock, you can tell what kind of rock it is. You know, just even on the basic level. You can tell that it's made of like compressed sediment, or it's from a volcano, or like it's from somewhere else. This is just a rock.
Does it look like it was made with magic? Like when you do it?
Well, it's still existing rock. It's almost like someone thought about the concept of a rock and just placed it here.
Yeah, there's a rock. That's
Like,
a rock.
it was
That's a rock.
created from not a rock, but some sort of
Like nothing happened.
universal building piece to
Right.
create the idea of a rock.
Right.
Do you need us to figure out this puzzle before we can move on?
I mean, it's deeply disturbing.
We can be disturbed and keep walking. Definitely. Yeah. Maybe we should take a sample of it.
Were the ruins here before the last time that I was in this area?
you've never been strictly. You have just traveled the actual good roads that people take, but you've never been here. And I would say what you know about the people who take this, it's typically people who are trying really not to be seen. There's a perception among some that it's safer because it's so infrequently traveled. But you've heard about these suits of armor. There's other things that could be here.
Is this something that could be like kind of like how there are like markers for loot stashes within certain thieves can't like enclaves?
You see
and
no
stuff?
signs of thieves' camp.
This isn't like a marker for some sort of like
You're not casting a spell, right?
bandit group. Or
Really?
anything.
What are you doing?
Look, it's just a rock, and Billy's gonna start to touch it. Unless someone stops Billy from
Didn't
just
Ori
slapping the
already-
I
rock.
already
Billy,
touched it. Yeah.
you go up to this rock, and as you touch it, it is rock.
See, it's
I
just
thought you
a
were gonna do
fucking
magic.
rock.
Let's just take a sample
That
or
was-
something and then leave. I mean, okay,
think
maybe
it's-
there's something inside
I
it.
think
Maybe it's
the
like an egg or something.
The thing that I think Minka is trying to say is that it is literally just a rock.
Billy kicks the rock.
One that is
Kick it, and
Do
your
you
foot
need-
hurts a little.
Do you need us to figure
Irrespective
out
of all the
before
rocks.
we
I
move
get it.
on?
All valid. Let me validate the weirdness of all of this. I just don't understand why we have to stay here.
well, because it's weird.
I think we've established.
So are
You
lots
can
of
see
things.
Billy is now. His little chips are coming off, and if there's like a prize inside, it's deep because Billy's just. It's not a terribly strong rock, and so that narrows down in your mind some of the things that maybe it could be, but it's still just rock in your brain.
It's like a
Billy's getting
crafted
more and
rock.
more purple as she chisels down. She's like, it's just a fucking rock.
Would you like a sample of the rock?
It's like
It's fine. We can
transmuted
leave.
or
We can
something.
leave. It's just weird. It's just weird. And Minka's gonna start walking around it and just staring at it the whole time.
Can I make an Arcana check or something? Is it an egg? Can I try to figure
You made
out
a
if
nature
it-
check for that, and it wasn't an egg.
14.
With a 14, hard to tell.
No,
you
I
don't
made a
know a lot
nature
about
check to see
magic.
if it was a turd.
Oh, maybe.
Within that same check, it is not a byproduct of a dragon, as far as
Can
you
I make
tell.
an Arcana check on it?
Sure.
See if it is magical in nature.
Sure.
Billy stabbed the
Natural
rock.
one.
Natural one. It sure is.
Yeah. Guys, it's just a magic rock. Okay, can we go,
Wait,
please?
it's magic?
I mean, look at it.
It's just a fucking rock. We can go, please. Can we go?
So maybe it was transmuted. Maybe it was not a rock, and
Finn
now
joins
it's a
you
rock.
on the other side.
Yeah. Minka's just gonna keep walking backwards and looking at the rock and being like,
Billy's walking.
Alina will also leave. and
Ori, you are
continue
left
walking.
alone with this rock.
Oh man.
Joshua, where are you?
I'm gonna like seeing that Minka is backing away. I'm like, yeah, that feels. I'm with you there. That feels wrong.
there's no. Just,
Keeping my eye, like, always keeping an eye on the rock as we're going away.
what if someone cast magic and like created the rock or turned into the rock?
That's what I was thinking. What if that was someone who got turned into a
Maybe
rock,
it
and that's
wasn't
why
a
it's a
rock
different
before.
rock?
Are we walking it? Can we walk and talk it?
Yeah.
All right.
You have successfully defeated the rock.
Yeah.
Can you do anything about it?
All right, put it in the thing. What the fuck was up with that rock?
Yeah, we'll put it,
Put it in right now.
Got
So,
it.
Wandering Hearts, there are some maps that are just visual aids.
Fuck you!
But why did you make this a rock?
And because it is 10 o'clock, after defeating the... You know how sometimes I give you puzzles and there's like pointing
This was
to
the
open?
fucking unlocked
This
door.
was-
I know.
This was the level above that of there is no puzzle.
Why did you
but-
make that rock so enticing?
I stabbed the rock!
Now, for what it's worth, everything that I have said is still valid. This is still a very weird rock, but it is just a weird rock so far.
So far, you have to add the so far though.
Thank you for sticking with us for this session of Adventures in Oberon Courts of Everest. We'll be back next week on Friday, but if you can't wait that long, we're going to re-air this along with our Starfinder game on Sunday, starting at noon, and then this will air at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But please, stay safe. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.